Nick Jenkins is putting his online business acumen aside and stepping into the shoes of an average crowdfunder.
The problem I would feel is that if I put money in, you might have invested in property, but as a retail investor, you're not in control of that property or what goes on with it. Well, we've had 3 years of successfully delivering dividends, and we are in fact regulated and authorised by the FCA. When I look at it, I think I just something doesn't feel right about it. And if there were disgruntled investors that was a clamour around it, guess whose name would be involved? The dragon who put their money into it. So, from a reputational point of view, it's an absolute no. I'm out.
Nick is intent on ensuring that brand Jenkins remains untouched. Will Sarah Willingham be any more willing to put her reputation on the line?
I think that the other dragons have been extremely generous with you. The reason why I think they're being generous is because they're even discussing your business. This is the most disrespectful pitch from an individual. I never expected to sit here and be offended in this way. I mean, you've stood there and said, yeah, well, it was an option. I mean, it's just completely and utterly wasting your time. I'm out.
An infuriated Sarah Willingham has walked away from the deal. But Peter Jones has 20 million reasons not to let the issue of Fraser's company valuation slide.
It takes me less than a minute to work out what the opportunity is in terms of valuation based on your model. Even when you raise 100 million, which you haven't today, that's 10 times where you are. It cannot possibly be worth anything like 20 million to any investor unless they are completely stupid.
As I have said, people are investing in companies like us at those sorts of valuations.
But are you talking to people that are over 5 years of age or under?
I think it's a different way of valuing businesses than the traditional way.
I don't get it, Fraser. There's got to be a reason why you've done this. Did you want this to happen?
No, not at all.
Fraser, I don't need you to hear any more. I'm incredibly upset about the valuation and disappointed, but I'm out too.
I can't put my name to this, so on that basis, you know what I'm going to say? I'm out.
That's going down to the most ridiculous valuation ever.
Can I just have reality? You just asked for £1 million, didn't you?
Yes.
And he sort of turned to you yesterday, and said, well, it's an option. Did that just happen?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
In many ways, I was surprised by their reaction. I went in there, it was just perfectly open and friendly. Just because I went in there, I wasn't in complete awe of them. Doesn't mean I was disrespectful. I was treating them as I was treat anybody in a business meeting.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Predatory Marketing 101. Today, we're talking about Grant Cardone and Damon John. You guys know him. He's the undercover billionaire guy, Shark Tank over here. And they are saying something disgusting that I want to talk about. I've been saying how the self-help industry has really gone south for a long time. But this illustrates my point better than I ever could. And it also proves something, which I want to talk about right now, which is that people are saying that Grant Cardone's changed. My last video about Grant Cardone, they're saying he 5 years ago he was legit, that he pushed more into real estate. I missed the old Grant, right? Oh, really? Well, this is him from 2017, so 3 years ago, back when he was legit. What was he saying then?
You're down. A guy's sitting there right now watching this here. I got my last friend, dude. Absolutely.
guys, these little sharks, are selling, and it's an appropriate word, that they will eat you alive if you let them. They're selling a $1,000 product that gets you Damon on Demand, Rise and Grind by Damon John, and a 10x growth con ticket. And they're saying if you have $1,000 left to your name, bankrupt yourself to buy this product. Now, I'm going to, of course, tell you the opposite, which is that is insane advice. Look at these guys. They will sell anything. They don't care who you are, how broke you are. All they care about is the numbers. I've been saying this. You guys say, hey, it's just a few bad apples in the industry. This is the industry. Where do you guys think I get this stuff from? Grant Cardone? He's like one of the biggest in this industry. David John, massive in this industry. Why are you guys pretending it's not the mainstream of this industry pushing this narrative? The sooner people call this out, the better.
This offer today is $9.97. GrantCardone.com.
This is disgusting.
More stuff about shark. But guys, sitting there right now watching this, and I got my last brand new that I got Christmas shoes. Council. I'm telling you, say
This is unethical and it's gross.
I'll tell you why. Because the minute you learn this and you then go out and get a trademark instead of a patent that now saved you $20,000.
Look at this reach, Olympian level mind tricks. This guy literally just said, well, yeah, you're broke, right? You have $1,000 you have left to your name. You buy this. Why is it going to be worth it? Well, because when you go to get a patent versus a trademark, you're going to save $20,000.
Hey, Damon, to Damon.
People who have $1,000 left aren't worried about a trademark versus a patent. You buffoon. They're worried about putting bread on their table. I know it's a foreign concept to rich people like you. You guys love to flex your wealth. But poor people don't have this luxury. What disgusts me about this industry is how they have no conception of people you should not sell to. You guys realize that if you sell get-rich products, they will always be sold. Anybody poor is going to want to buy that product, right? Because it's like selling a cure for cancer. Oh, this magic bean has the cure for cancer, lasts $1,000. Of course, you're going to buy that magic bean for cancer. Same thing with get-rich courses, which is why the way to be ethical in this industry is, first of all, why would you have an $1,000 product? But okay, if you do want an $1,000 product, make it a premium product for people who are in their price range, right? Qualify your prospect. Don't just say if you have $1,000 left, it's relevant. It's not. They have bigger problems. And how dare you guys pitch this? How dare you?
Or the minute you realize you weren't necessarily ready for distribution yet with a couple of things in order.
Of course they're not ready for distribution. They have $1,000 left to your name. Now I want to point one final thing out, which is a good thing to know. There's two versions of this talk, the exact same talk. There's the one that Grant Cardone has on his YouTube channel, and there's the one that was re-uploaded by this guy right after the video. What's interesting, what I found to be very interesting, is that there's a slight difference between these two videos. I don't know if you know that. Like something was cut out of this video, cut out of Grant's video. Let's check out and see what it is.
Well, guys, sitting there right now watching this, I got my last brand.
Oh, actually, did you notice there's a little cut there from here to here? Look at this cut. What could he possibly have cut out from this video? What could he feel like he didn't want people to see?
Sitting there right now watching this, I got my last brand new that I got Christmas.
Oh.
Sitting there right now watching this, I got my last brand.
Looks like he cut out the part where he said, and he's got Christmas coming up. I was wrong, guys. Maybe these guys do have a conscience. They felt bad about the part where they say, and he has Christmas coming up. They said, nah, that's a little too predatory. But the part where we tell a guy with $1,000 left to spend his money on our course, that's fine. But the part about Christmas, let's clip that out. That's not such a good look for us. And people wonder why I rail against this industry. Obviously, guys, look, is it everybody in this industry that's bad? No. Look, sometimes I'm a little hyperbolic. It's not the whole industry. Of course not. Why I get so intense is because it is the people at the top. It is the Grant Cardone that I'm talking about, guys. Like if it were your small fries doing some, shady things, okay, I get it. Every industry has a few bad apples, like we call them. But this industry, the self-help industry, it's the people at the top that are the bad apples. I don't make you look bad. People say CoffeeZilla is always hating on us. I don't make you guys look bad. Grant Cardone is making you look bad. Damon John is making your industry look predatory. Not me. I'm just the messenger, baby. I'm I'm just playing you back what they said, and I'm holding them to account. And look at this part, dude. It's maybe the biggest feat of irony. They say this right here.
You need to get something. It's about you. You can't help anybody. And we're not telling you to hurt people. Look, we're not telling you to be predatory. We're not telling you to do anything of that nature.
Would you say that people should sell a GrowthCon ticket? What is that, a glorified concert with a bunch of pitches from Grant's little team of little pitchmen? Oh, and then Damon on demand. Are you going to tell them to charge that for someone's last $1,000? Try to sell somebody on that? Would that be predatory? Guys, fix up your industry, okay? Complain about me. All these viewers are like, Coffeezilla is such a hater. Dude, if this stuff wasn't here, we wouldn't be talking. So why don't you fix up your own industry? And then we'll start talking about how great this industry is. This was 3 years ago they were doing it, as you saw recently in the last video. Grant Cardone's up to his old tricks. I don't know how you guys keep giving these people your money. If it were me, I would. Look, guys, my opinion, I wouldn't give these people my money. They want your last 1,000? They take old Grant's last 1,000 if they could. You better believe it. Hey, as we're gonna leave it, this is why this stuff has to stop. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bruno Mars impersonator scams Texas woman out of $100K. Case has ties to Houston. You know the perpetrator's real names? Basil and Chinwindu. Yep, we're talking about the Valentine's Day scam. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the studio of the Internet Detective. I'm your host, Coffeezilla, and let me say welcome back. It is a beautiful day. We're talking about the Valentine's Day scams because with everything coming up, okay, honestly, most of y'all aren't going to fall for this, but it's incredible to me that people still do. And when they do, they fall for a lot of money. A 65-year-old woman in North Texas got scammed by a Bruno Mars impersonator. This one's hard for me. Normally, I am the most sympathetic towards victims. I understand the psychology of desperation, loneliness, feeling like you don't have another option. But this is another level. I mean, this might be getting the dreams of grandeur. I could have Ariana Grande in my DM right now. Believe it, I don't buy into any of this stuff. Let me be honest with you. Look, my wife, I didn't believe her for 10 years or so we dated. She was walking down the aisle and finally I said, you know what? You might be a catfish after all. I don't think you should trust anybody unless they show up. I think this poor lady, I do feel bad for her, lost $100K to these scammers. I think she should have said, hey, until you get into bed with me, Chen, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not giving you a dime. Why would you think Bruno Mars needs your money? $100K and even paying for a pinky ring? I don't know what the big idea here is. But let me just tell you guys about these two characters behind this whole thing. They're two guys identifying themselves as Bruno Mars, and they text you for a long time and they eventually ask you for money. That's how romance scams work. But the two men associated in this particular scam were Basil and Chinwindu. Let me just say, okay, there's a lot of famous duos in history that you would have been proud of getting scammed by almost. Like Bonnie and Clyde, for example. But you get scammed by Basil and Chinwindu, it's a bad one. Okay, Chinwindu's not even the most famous Windu. His older brother Mace is. Okay, so I just think, look, you have to have a dose of skepticism by the time you're 65 years old, and you have to have a sense of realism. Bruno Mars doesn't care about you. Bruno Mars is not your friend. Bruno Mars is not going to date you unless you have minimum 50 million followers. It's just not going to happen. Or you're like a 12. You're not going to be 65 years old and getting asked for money by Bruno Mars. Instead, of course, when you look behind the scenes, it's old Chinwindu, it's so funny, asking you for money. Please be careful, guys. You got to vet these people. Love makes people do crazy things. So does money, but at the end of the day, you need a reality check. And if people around you are going to you saying, hey, it's probably not Bruno Mars in your DM, that's the biggest thing you notice with people like this. Their friends often reach out to them, tell them how crazy they're being, and they don't listen. And while I sympathize with the loneliness and the desperation, you have to expect this to happen when you're dropping 90K. Apparently, the Bruno Mars man promised he was quitting tour to be with her. Don't be like this. Don't get robbed by Basil and Chinwindu, and I promise you'll do very well in your life. all the best from me. I love you guys, but not in that kind of way. Happy Valentine's Day early. Hopefully I'm getting this out before that so I can warn everybody. And I will see you tomorrow. We're here. Billy had a bit of a hiccup.
It was a big hiccup. You were supposed to come on our podcast and you're switching shit up. That was the hiccup. And
No,
that confusing.
that's not right.
Exactly right.
Let's go
Yeah,
back.
in our DMs, I had to speak. I mean, I had a conversation in the DMs. Literally, I said, "Come on the podcast. I'll give you a fair shake."
I said
Let's
I'd
talk about it.
okay. This is ridiculous. We're gonna bore people. I said I'd rather live stream it. It turned into this big thing. Your assistant agreed.
No, that's because I told you to live stream it, a live stream the podcast. But then here we are. We're doing some other shit, which is fine. But again, that's not what we agreed to, and it is what it is.
That's not true. I said your system's late.
Fucking
She said
screenshot,
live.
man. It's not true. It's not
We're
argument.
gonna
You got
bore
the
the
screenshot.
audience with this, but I think you're on power.
No,
I'm gonna go on your show after this. I'm happy to do whatever. I'm happy to do whatever you want.
That's
after
it.
this. That's fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you. That's it.
So
So coming into it,
let's talk about the beginning of this whole conversation, which was you calling me out, right?
at the beginning of this conversation, was the beginning of this conversation me calling you out or you posting videos about me? I didn't even know you existed. You posting videos about me and then you responding to your nonsense. Which one was it? Just so we can get this shit straight.
What did I say about you? You watched the video?
You had two videos, my team tells me.
Yep.
I saw a little bit of one, which is fine, whatever. But like you were the one that posted about us, and then I responded. But again, second time, you're lying about the setup. Now you're lying about how the communication came out.
Absolutely not. No. I didn't call you. I didn't call you a.
Did I see you out, or did I respond to what you created?
Did I say anybody know this fuckboy? He made the entire YouTube of this and tear down other people. Did I tear you down?
Hold on, let me read it for you. Does anybody know this fuckboy? In response to the videos you made about me, I did not know you existed.
You're saying I'm trying to hurt people. You didn't even watch my video.
Pause, hold on.
I didn't even say anything negative about you, bud.
Is this true? Is this true or not? Did you make videos about me?
I talked about your channel as a pattern of people retiring, right?
Yeah, okay, I understand. But did you talk about me 2 different times before I posted that? Because you're trying to take things out of context and form them a different way.
Absolutely
Did that happen, yes or no? Look at the dates. Look at the dates. You posted the shit. This is the 3rd line. We just started, bro.
Billy, we gotta come to a reset here. We gotta come to a reset here. I'm trying to bring people up to speed. Okay, let me give the full context. Let me give everything, right? Let me give full context.
I'm gonna cut you off until you tell the truth.
Billy, let's give full context. Can I do that?
Thank you. Appreciate that. Give the full context. I'm gonna interject.
Right. Okay. So you know what my show is? I guess you don't. Do you know what my show
To
is?
give context,
No, I'm just asking you generally, just so before I start. Do you know what my show is?
I'm ready for you to give context.
Yeah. So I talk about sort of this business phase, whatever, all this stuff, right? So I was talking about, some of these guys who are, doing like little fake retirement things. Kind of jabbed about you a little bit, but seriously, it was kind of light stuff. I mean, it's nothing serious.
I agree. No, that's just, I agree with you. It was nice.
So, good. Glad we agree. So, the second thing I think I said was I made a video called Cringe Marketing This Fire, where I was talking about multiple marketing pieces, but then I talked about truth. I was like, actually, it's pretty interesting, right? Okay.
So
then we see this.
Now we're 2 times you're talking about me at this point before this post. So what I said stands true. Again, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm not even here to measure all that stuff. I'm here to keep it honest.
All right,
so that's how the conversation.
We're fine.
Yes.
Anybody knows the fuckboy? He made an entire YouTube channel dedicated to fear. Now,
You wasn't passionate when I wrote it. That wasn't the passion when I wrote it. When I wrote this shit, it was funny. You're not gonna seem like this shit was funny. Would you like me to read it for you?
Sure.
All right, scroll up so I can see it, so we can really get the emphasis and the energy of how I wrote it. I feel like we fucking my poetry up. Okay? It says, does anybody know this fuckboy? What? Okay, and you can continue. Go ahead.
Made an entire YouTube channel dedicated to tearing down other people. Should I never say to other people's faces? So with that, I'd like to say, because you said that I would never say this to your face, I would like to say what I said about to your face.
So you realize you are behind a computer screen. Only an internet troll would literally think you're saying this to my face. Only an internet troll would
I can find it, tell it to you in person.
I can guarantee you anything that
You don't think I tell you this? Billy, oh, I'd love to tell you this. I'd love for you to be in this room right now so I can tell you to your face that your marketing is cringe.
I will fly you to my fucking office in San Diego.
So I can say your marketing is cringe. So your marketing is cringe.
I'll have my driver pick you up in my Sprint.
Great.
Pick you up.
Set it up, and then I can say, hey Billy, your marketing, your retirement, it's cringe.
No, your existence is fucking cringe. Actually, I got a question for you. How do you get paid?
Real quick.
How do you get paid? How do you get paid from YouTube? How do you get paid?
Like the biggest to you.
Money. Do you get paid from YouTube for your
AdSense,
videos?
bud. AdSense.
Do you get paid from YouTube for your videos?
Yeah. That's how AdSense works.
Exactly. So you fucking make videos talking shit about other people so you can make more money. What the fuck is the scam?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm exposing you conning on the internet and you're freaking out about it. You guys are a little insecure.
Tell me how you con there. 130,000 students, 75 countries,
Buddy. Show me my video. Christ, Billy, calm down. Jesus Christ, Billy, calm down for a second and watch a video. You haven't watched a single one of my videos. You guys are robbing desperate kids. You're robbing desperate kids out of billions of dollars, and you're flexing on the internet about it. You're putting pictures in front of the Lambos. You're flexing on the internet about it, and then you're like, "Hey, dude, look what a cool business guy I am." I call it out, and you go, "Oh, he's a hater. He's just talking shit on the internet."
So good. Now, you said your piece. I'm a con man. I'm robbing kids out of money. Can you give me some examples?
Hey. First.
Give a motherfucking example of anything you say.
Hey, Billy.
Look at the 1,000 Google reviews.
I'll wait till you stop, Billy.
Thank you. Because I'll keep going. Was it the awards for San Diego's best places to work? Which one was it? Was it the fucking business?
Are we all talking about a relevant thing? Are we all talking about a relevant thing right now? Are we all talking about a relevant thing?
Was it the massage envy contract? Was it the horse that fitness where I get those in locations? You just talk shit. You are fucking relevant because you talk about.
Can I tell you sort of my biggest? Can I tell you my biggest problem with you?
No.
Okay, I guess you didn't come on the live stream to talk. You came to blow out everyone's ears with your mic. Let me talk to you for a second. You called me. Listen. You called me fake news in your show, right?
Correct.
You called me fake news in your show.
Correct. Facts.
Then you say, okay, you assume what I'm saying, right? After not watching my video. Let me say this. When I was talking a second ago, you said, you make your money by just talking trash. I responded to that. Listen, 1 second. Let me finish, and then you can go off. Let me finish, and then you can go off. Let me finish, and then you can go off. Okay? 1 second. So I said, the people that I'm talking about are like people like Dan Locke, people like Ty Lopez, people like Kevin Davis. I've taken Ty Lopez's course.
Have you met Tyler Dan?
No.
I know them both. Have you ever had a conversation with them?
No, I know because I've heard you suck up to them on podcasts. I've heard you say. I've heard from their students who lost tens of thousands of dollars from them while they flex in their mansions, and you go on their podcast going, "Wow, such a big fan, Ty. Such a big fan, Dan."
This is crazy.
I'm happy to have Dan on my podcast. I'm happy to have him on the live stream. I'm happy to have Ty on the live stream. He won't come on. I've invited Dan probably 7 times.
What's your name?
Steve.
What is it? Steven. You never even had a conversation with both of them, but you sit here and call them scams.
They won't go on a conversation with me. I had the victims of their courses on my show. Do you think they'd have a conversation with me? But
Had the victors of their successes? You had the victims, quote unquote, your words. Have you had the victors?
Yeah, like my teacher who was $20,000 lost $26,000 in Denmark.
Have you had thousands of the success stories, though? This is my thing with you. And let me tell you, I actually, because I want to be clear here for your audience. I don't actually knock everything you do. I think what you do, to an extent, is important. Because there is a lot of bullshit out there, and a lot of people are getting fucked over. Where it becomes...
Where are the people voicing that? Where are the people voicing that?
Let me finish. But where it becomes problematic is the fact that you don't get both sides. So you say something about someone, never have having a conversation with them, only taking the quote-unquote victims and not talking to the people who have had successes. So you are worse than CNN, Fox, and motherfucking TMZ. That's poison. That's dangerous. That's cancerous. Please.
First of all, it's not true that I never talked to them. Talk to a lot of them. Talk to a lot of them. Talk to people like John Crestani. Talk to people like Evan Lucan. Talk to people like Caleb Addy. Okay? I want to talk to you. I'm happy to talk to you. And like you said, look, was it that hard to get a conversation with me? No, be honest with us. You just have to DM me on Instagram. You get a conversation right away. People don't.
Can I be honest with you? The reason why I had a conversation with you, because what you said is true in the beginning. You said what you said about me wasn't that. Honestly, I was not offended. People say shit like that. That didn't bother me. It really didn't. It was when I started scrolling through the channel and I realized this is like a pattern. It wasn't even interjection. I'm cool. Like, people have moments. You make a fucking video, you're a content creator, you have an opinion. That's one thing. But I was like, bruh, when you have multiple and several and you're doing this, I'm like,
let's talk about some of these things.
That's why I posted that, because I was upset. I'm like, nobody should make money tearing other people down. I like you calling them out, have a conversation with them, like raise questions. That is fucking healthy. But when you just talking shit about them, you discourage them. And I got audio clips for days that we get off the bump over here. I'll put it on my podcast show. Listen, I got audio clips for days saying things like, why should someone ever charge information that's more than the price of the book? Why should anyone advertising is a scam? You know how many fucking... No, you know, I have a report. I got a report.
Out of context. Out of context. Anyone advertising is a scam? That's what I said. I never said it.
Go to his motherfucking shit. He said it. He said any ad. Hold on, I got my sound. We'll play the right here for your people. He said, okay, we're something along the line. I'm paraphrasing, but we'll get what we show. Now, the advertising shit, Johnny.
So
what he was talking about. He knew what he was advertising.
Wally pulls that up. So you talk. So first of all.
Johnny. I got time. I'm good.
Bringing energy to this conversation.
Because I think there's some, like I said, I'm not against you. I think you genuinely had in the past a good intent. I think in the world it became something else when you saw the
Can you look at my recent videos, please? I don't think you paid attention to my recent videos. Hey, real quick. Hey, Billy, you haven't watched more than 3 of my videos, and I can tell. Look, this is about a hedge fund manager. This is about advertising. This is about a straight up Bitcoin scam where somebody is stealing money, straight up stealing, not a question, straight up stealing. This is about a somebody who's making it on YouTube. What I'm saying is you're accusing me of all you do is talk trash. That's not true. You don't know what my content is, and you're accusing me. Hold on, this is an important point. You're accusing me of being fake news and CNN and Fox News, and you said you got to do your research before talking. But you come into this conversation so heated, but you don't know what I do. It's clear.
I came in, I have 17 audio clips of you saying regular shit that actually hurts people instead of...
Tell me what they are. Let's go through it.
But because your thing is that you play the fucking...
We're going to do a podcast. Don't worry, we're going to do a podcast. It's fine.
Not that shit. He literally said the advertising thing.
That's what we're doing. He can't find it. So we're talking about marketing here. We're talking about bad financial advice on TikTok because people are learning.
Telling I'm lying. Every time you said I've been lying, I've showed you that you were lying. The motherfucking clip, he said that basically anyone fucking advertising is a scam. We just listened to it fucking 4 seconds ago. Find the joint, we'll circle back to it, give Johnny time to find that. But anyway, go back to what you said. What you're saying, I'm saying against you, is that all you do is talk trash, right? Like, I agree. That is not true. Like, you got me hyped. Like, I'm making a point of being facetious. Like, but nonetheless, the fact that it's a part of your portfolio, it's a bulk And that's how you make money, bruh. Like some of your most
Okay,
watched
let's
videos
start-
are from talking
let's
about
start
other
with one
people.
thing. Let's start with one
Like,
thing.
Go ahead.
How my career started, why I started Puppies. I think that's an important
I
point.
have your clip of your first video. You said, I want to do copy and do YouTubers and find out interesting things. You had this genuine curiosity. So I want to know, when did shit go south? When did
Nothing
you feel...
went south.
There
What
it
are
is,
you
there it is.
talking about?
Listen,
I stumbled.
listen. This is your first video. This is your first video. You're a fan of other YouTubers. Keep going, yeah.
I still am.
This is you.
Is this supposed to be like a Barbara Walters moment? Like a gotcha?
All right, get that. Such a nice kid. You're just such a nice kid. I'm like, I like that kid. I'm rooting for that kid. How can I support that kid? And then just tell you something. I have questions for you because I genuinely want to know, like, who you are. You out people your names. Like, were you bullied in school? Like, when did it switch? And like, what were you like?
If that's a genuine question, I'll
That's a
genuinely answer.
genuine
Okay.
question.
Let's take this podcast, or let's take this
Find
live
that clip,
stream.
John.
Let's find
We listened to
let's
it
find a
first.
good way to bring it down to a real place, okay? Because I do think we both want to get to a real place. Okay. Listen. So, when I started this channel, YouTube channel, Coffee Break is doing well. Okay, 400,000 subscribers. I'm doing fine with it. I'm looking at the educational system on YouTube, and I don't like how it incentivizes clickbait. At the same time, I'm interested in pursuing a more personality-centered brand, or like a channel.
Real quick, you go ahead, but you don't like that it incentivizes clickbait. You know, we can both agree your whole channel is clickbait. Like, come on now. Like, you say that, but all right, but that's. Look at your titles. I mean, the whole thing, your thumbnail, it's science for you. Come on now.
The $5 million Super Bowl ad tier list. We talked about the Super Bowl. Hedge fund manager breaks down GameStop. We talked about that. What I'm talking about, though, no, but I very honestly shifted towards entertainment, of course.
Right, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So don't like hang on this clickbait shit.
No, I'm not. I'm just telling you where I was. You asked me how I got started, whatever. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to move away from Coffee Break for now. I'm going to go back to it. Really, I never made a decision to stop Coffee Break. But I noticed this sort of epidemic on YouTube of these course sellers. And look, I didn't call you a fake guru. That's the funny thing. You came up with so much shit. I didn't call you a fake guru. And then you go, show me where I called you a con. I didn't call you a con. That's what I find amazing about this conversation.
Hold on. This is the thing is you didn't call me those things. That's why I think it's important. I want to let everybody know I'm on here. It wasn't about me. What made me, nothing can hurt me like what you said about me. Like my fucking resume proceeding. It was others. Because this is crazy. Can I give you a flip? Can I give you a flip? You didn't. I agree with that 3 times. This is the perspective I want to give you though. And this is important for everybody. Is when you create videos like this, and the way you do it without reporting both sides, which is my thing, not the fact that you comment on them.
What?
I mean, whatever. But not reporting both sides. My fear is, so I got 130,000 students in 75 countries. A lot of them have solid businesses that genuinely help people. And they get terrified to go on video because they're afraid somebody will say something mean to them. So then I find you and it triggered me. Because I'm like, you're the person stopping somebody from getting out their dope message or getting their dope message. That's not true because you were put one side in front of you. You give people a bad
Who
shit
am
all
I
the time.
You're talking to very
You-
generic.
hold on.
Let's
You
talk
know,
about
let me be specific. So let me ask you, do you not see how you doing videos like that can negatively impact somebody?
I think that the people that I'm helping getting out of this toxic self-help industry, saying that you need to spend $2,000 to make it in this world, is helping people. Now, let me say the other side of that. Let me say
you didn't answer my question. Hold on, pause right there. Let's just go one piece at a time. Sure. So, like, when you mention, even that to me is funny. You hate on someone that wants to invest $2,000 into themselves, but have you ever owned a business, bro? Have you? Just yes or no. I'm looking yes or no.
Like what kind of business? Like a
business that you pay taxes on any fucking business, anything. Have you ever owned a business?
If you consider this business, which I kind of more consider it like just a show, but yeah.
It's a business though because you make a profit from it. You pay taxes at the end of the year. Do you pay taxes at the end of the year?
Yeah.
This is a business, bro. So this is your first business.
I mean, I guess it's a business in the way, same way any show is.
It's a business.
Right. But I think what you're trying to say.
I'm telling you what I'm trying to say. And it's the fact that you're giving advice. Even if your advice is to not fuck with somebody else, you're giving advice and you ain't got a motherfucking business. You're a scam. What a big scam.
I'm giving advice. I'm telling you, don't listen to these fraudsters on the internet.
Someone who doesn't have a business is telling you who to listen to.
Right.
Go stock picks and your fucking crypto.
I'm not. You're saying I'm giving advice. I'm telling you not to take these idiots' advice. Don't take my advice. Do I give advice? Do I tell people how to live their life? Do I sell a course on how to live their life? No, I do not. Because
I have a question for you. Let's talk about ridiculous. You have created a successful YouTube channel, regardless if I think it's out of integrity and I don't think it's right, but you have. So I want to credit you for that. And I also want to credit you because I know that's hard as shit. But I'm willing to bet that you made so many damn mistakes on the come up. You know what I mean? You made so many errors. So you created a course to help people start their YouTube channel the right way because there's a lot of misinformation out there on the internet, as we both know. You don't think that'd be beneficial?
Absolutely not. This is where you and I fundamentally disagree.
Correct. Guys, hey, tell me how.
I'll explain. I will explain.
I'm listening.
The self-help industry is such crap because of this key fact. The majority of learning is through experience. It's through mistakes. If I hadn't made those first 100 bomber videos, I would not be the YouTuber I am today.
Let me give you a quote by who's not that successful. His name is Warren Buffett. You can learn from your own mistakes or you can learn from somebody else's. Who the fuck is the genius? Come on now.
Listen,
yeah, because that's
if Warren Buffett's selling a course, go buy Warren Buffett's course.
Reckless shit,
if Warren Buffett's selling a course, go buy Warren Buffett's course, but he doesn't.
If Warren Buffett was fucking born
instead, we have Dan Locke selling a course. Instead, we have Kevin David plagiarizing people.
Claiming to be experts. Hey, I agree with that.
Right.
So we're not.
Let me ask you.
Why are you demonizing people for selling their knowledge, which took them decades and millions and hundreds of $1,000s to come up with? Like, why should somebody give up their hard work, their education, their experiences for fucking free? Why? This is motherfucking America. Get out of here.
For selling their education.
You just did.
Listen. When somebody sells their education and they wrap it around a pretty little dream that's not going to happen for people because the way you become a successful piano player.
Hey, remind me to never buy a fucking mindset course from you. Listen to what the fuck you just said. When you wrap it in a bow, you sell a dream that's never going to happen for people. This is who y'all follow. What you call them, the Copyzilla gang or army? This is your dude.
The guy who
By the
said
way,
your dreams are never gonna happen
Poppyzilla
for you.
Army is a joke about the London Freedom Platform Army. I know you haven't watched the show. And you're talking a lot of trash.
I'm trying to figure out the people following you who can
Right, but you
respect
keep
that
interrupting me
mentality.
before I finish what I'm going to say, and so it's like it's hard for me to hear.
Continue on. But you just say so much reckless shit, and you want to go on a stream of reckless shit. It's dangerous. So I'm like, let's go piece by piece. I want to let you talk, but I don't want you to run on. But
What are you
nonsense.
talking about? You interrupt me in the middle of every sentence.
I apologize. Go ahead.
Okay, so where were we? We were talking about selling education, right? So I have no
Yes.
problem with selling education, right? The problem is that it's wrapped up. What do all these people teach? They teach wrap up your education alongside what they really want, which is they want wealth. So you wrap up this like thing of like, oh, learn Facebook ads. If it was just learn a hard skill, I don't have a problem with that, right? The truth is, no one's going to buy learn a hard skill for $2,000 unless you wrap it in some kind of wealth thing. Well, generally speaking, I'm talking about the general case that I talk about as
There is a lot of bullshit.
on right. And you said the same thing. You made a bunch of Instagram posts about it, and you come to me, and basically the vibe I'm getting from you is that I do a thing, but I do it in the wrong way, a way you don't approve of. Now, let me ask you, what's the mechanism for this industry to self-correct? What's the mechanism for the industry to self-correct, if not for someone like me?
Real quick, I just want to say, I do approve of some of the things you do. I don't want to come up here and seem like I'm just hating on you, because I don't want to fucking knock you down. I want to knock down the tactic of knocking others down to get ahead. That's my main shit right now. But I do think you had, at some point, a genuine purpose, and I do think calling out things are great. It's just, we just came out of an, just listen to me. We just came out of an election. You saw this country more divided than it's ever been in some time. And the number one culprit was, quote unquote, the news, right? You go to CNN, it tells you one thing. You go to Fox, it tells you another thing. But you know what both of them agree on? Is they never tell the other fucking side. And it's dirty. They never give anybody else credit. And that is what concerned me about it.
So
you tell these stories, but you give it one side. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't think that's true. I think that's a biased perspective. So
I'm
what I
open to
do now, let me be honest, I think I've become better with time, not worse. I recently started this thing called Webinar Wednesdays, where rather than just talk about advertising, which I used to rip into, I take the course. I review the course. I take the module.
I like that.
I go through it. I don't just talk about the advertising. I go through the course. I judge the course on the content.
I like
right?
that.
I interview experts. I interview people, real business owners. It's a series we call Real Jobs. We're still trying to get more people to go join that. I do things. I talk about great advertising because I don't want the whole thing to just be about bad advertising. I have made a concerted effort to make this channel not just a negative place, and I'm moving in that direction. But I don't know. I feel like if your perspective is like, oh, you're doing the right thing, but in the wrong way. My question is, then show me the guys who's doing the right thing, because I don't see, no offense, anyone in the industry, like sort of, I consider myself sort of an outsider, and I think my role as an outsider is important, because when I say this is a scam, you know that I'm not going to go, hey, now take my quote, which is so common. There's very many.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, so it's like people go, everything's a scam except for me, right? I don't do that. I don't have that game. I say, look, I think this guy's a scam. I think this guy's maybe a little over the top, whatever. But then at the end of the day, I don't have something to sell.
So I think that would be my thing. It's like, well, one, you are getting paid out of it, so that's that. But I think my thing
but
would
not
be
in a way that
if
hurts the
it
people
changed-
at the bottom. Like that's the big thing for me.
I love that.
Making money in a moral way.
Great point. You say not the people that hurts the people on the bottom. You scaring away people from investing in themselves and taking a fucking leap of faith. Let me tell you, it hurts fucking people at the bottom the most. You're wrong. You're wrong. This is because I'll tell you my expertise. This is what I've been doing for 12 years, man. And I had a real company agency work with some of the largest franchises in the world. I didn't touch education until that was my shit, right?
Yeah.
Like I had my skill set, etc. That's where I came in. But dude, you don't understand. I have these conversations with real small business owners. They're so deadly afraid to take a risk, to take a leap, because we're fucking poisoned. Like, take my grandmother, for example, rest in peace. My grandmother's whole thing was, Billie Jean, don't fucking start your own business. Don't start your own business until you have a job for 30 years. You got all this experience, etc. My grandmother never owned a fucking business. Why, Grandma, I love you. Why the fuck are you giving me business advice? I wouldn't be where I am today at 32 if I would have listened to grandparents say, you got people out here listening to their parents for fucking financial advice and they're broke. You got people out here listening to Copyzilla for financial advice.
I don't give financial advice. I don't give financial advice.
You telling people what not to do is still advice, my friend. It's still
I'm
advice.
telling the people that became a wealth advisor yesterday that aren't registered brokers, that have absolutely no experience in the business, and yesterday started up, and today they're making $2 million off the backs of a bunch of broke, desperate kids.
I think now, and even that part, the last one, I'm with you as far as calling shit out. But then you said on the backs of broke, desperate kids. How do you know who their customers are?
Actually, because insiders are coming. I mean, I'm not gonna name names. This is
Bro, but like you don't know.
Hold on, one second. They shared me. Report. I saw that this a while back, like probably 10 months ago. The stuff he was doing, 10 million. I think it's been a while. I think it was like $4 million a month.
Literally, there was only 6 that we played in the very beginning. We put them in the budget intro.
$4 million a month, and basically the idea is I knew the fact. I knew it. They told me. The person came to me because they said, I don't like what these people are doing. But listen for a second. They said, we were telling people who couldn't afford the course to go get a personal loan to take out the rest of the money to invest in themselves and get
You talking about college? You talking about college? Which one? Yeah, Stanford, Harvard.
We're talking about courses.
Oh, you said you wanted people to borrow money and get into serious debt and then go learn something like 30 years later.
If you want to talk about how education is a scam.
Oh, okay.
You want to talk about that? Yeah, I have a whole thing about that.
I don't know if we didn't have a whole thing about it, but I think we're in agreement that the logic you just said is literally the logic that fucking doctors, that's their program that they follow. You know what the promise of, hold on, let me finish. You know what the promise of attorneys and fucking medical professionals is? Go into debt. $300,000. It will take you 30 years to pay it back. You won't even start making till 11 years later. And then 11 years later, you get a job that will make you 6 figures and you'll still be enslaved in debt. That shit right there, and you're worried about somebody investing $2,000 to take advantage and learn from someone who invested hours and hours or whatever the fuck. But you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, why are you hating on someone getting ahead and taking a risk? Like, I'll take my personal shit, right? Like, you know how I learned the game of advertising, the thing that you hate on a lot? I learned the game of advertising because I've been one of those
advertising. I don't like when it's done the way it's done with the direct response tourist model.
I think there is some shit there somewhere. But at the same time, bro, I came up buying the shit that you're fucking shying people away from. There would be no ability. My impact on the 130,000 students, I would not have. I wouldn't be able to do any of those things. You know what I'm saying? And then you talk about, like, you know, you said something, I don't remember what it is because this is your steps, we don't have a lot of our shit. But you said something about influencers and how they're all fake. And, like, that whole shit, it's never real. And I'll play it on my shit, so that way everyone knows I'm not just pulling shit out of my ass. But, like, I mean, what is that all about, right? And by the way, there are some fucking bullshit influencers, but when you fucking throw this blanket on a whole industry,
I'm not gonna tell you I didn't say that because you might have it. But I can't talk about it and see when I don't know what I said.
I don't know what you said about influencers all being fake. Because I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I'll give you my opinion right now. There are a lot of influencers are fake. Are you talking about like gurus specifically?
No, this is what you said. You said, oh, go.
I don't remember what he said.
Look, listen. Play it again. Again. Since I make shit up.
I can't. Can you just repeat it for the class? Because we can't.
Last time.
We can't hear it that well. We have to repeat it.
The last one. It said people were. Yeah.
Oh, sure. I think that was that from Graham Stephan, the Graham Stephan video.
Yes, that's what.
Okay, let's give the context to that. Let's give the context. Because context.
No one. This is the thing. If nobody
context is not important. You're saying that you're the one saying at the beginning of this that I had to have context.
Context is important, but when you do things like this as a leader, and a thought leader, and someone with subscribers, people don't always hear that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Sure hope I'm not a thought leader, Billy. I told you I'm not giving advice. I'm just talking. Listen, okay,
Continue on.
hold on. So let's talk about this Graham.
I hope no one follows your thoughts, but you are what you are, regardless of
Whatever,
what
buddy, whatever.
I hope no one
I'm not going to
follows
charge you for it. I guess you can get it for free. So we talked about so Graham Steffen's video was basically about how
That's another kid who does this shit, right? He does this shit.
no, that's me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Graham Steffen's like one of these personal finance, right? And he said there's so many there's only a few fly by night snake oil salesmen. Most of them are legit. And in that video, I was responding to that, and I said, no, that's actually not true, Graham. It's actually the reverse. There's only a few people that if it were me, I would be listening to, and most of them are fly-by-night snake oil salesmen. Now, I would be shocked if you disagree with that statement.
I would say a lot of them, but I wouldn't say words like most, man. Like, I don't know. I would never make this statement because I don't know most. You know what I'm saying? I keep to my shit. Like, I don't know most. But is that out there? Should people beware? 100%. Like,
I mean,
they
look,
should.
this is your Instagram post. There's a lot of fraud and scams. Mostly, as in most, you said the word most, broke business coaches making a career teaching something they never accomplished. So you do agree with me. You agreed with me last year.
Listen. A couple of things. Number one, when your entire channel is dedicated,
Not my
and when you're consistent, how long has your channel been in existence?
Like 2 years ago, I started it. And by the way, this is not my dream of like what I'm going to do forever.
There's a difference between all and most, mind you. When you come on and you consider fucking selling your information, buying courses, and people being fucking idiots for all this, for investing into themselves, what fucking good are you doing?
I'm saving people from this cycle in the self-help space of thinking that they're one person.
Cycle of helping themselves.
Listen.
Okay.
Look, I just talked to a guy the other day. We're about to release it. This guy who has $10,000 in the hole, and we asked him how much money have you made. He said none. I've just got to keep spending. That was the whole point.
It sounds like every doctor.
Look, you can make fun of education all you want. They have proven that over time you make more money. With a college degree, you make more money. So you can keep saying it's a scam to go.
Spend 300.
Listen, you can
Doctors spend 300.
keep saying it's a scam to go to school, but they make more money on average. And listen, when you're talking to masses, when you're talking to masses of people, do you think it's a good idea to recommend people go to LA?
What?
And to be an actor. It's a bad idea. Why? Because most people don't become actors, right?
Bro, let me tell you what's happening. Now, I don't want to pour into you like this, but and I'm not in a bad way. I don't know what you missed or didn't accomplish in your life, but you projecting what you didn't get onto someone else is the most fucking dangerous thing you can do. And I'm not hating. And listen to me, because when I say that, I don't mean that in a bullish like just trying to pick shit way. I'm letting you know, dude, that is scary. That in fact you just said that with so much conviction. I'm the opposite. If you're watching me, I want you to go fucking chase it in LA. If you want to be an actor and actress and you think that's going to get you, I want you to do it. I want you to invest yourself.
You're talking about me spitting dangerous information, and then you're going, oh yeah, everyone go.
Engineer study that went to be a fucking YouTuber. How unrealistic is that? Yeah, I got you there. Bro,
what are you talking about? Listen.
You're going to remove this. Turn this shit. Don't play it. I tell you what.
Me as an engineer becoming a YouTuber?
Because I'm not even what though.
I don't even know where you're going with that. I'm confused now. Are you playing some clip right now?
Bro,
we can't hear.
We are playing a clip of you saying that you're not even a web developer, you studied chemical engineering in college.
I did, yeah.
Well, can I bring up something? That example of going to LA is unrealistic and ridiculous as someone saying, I'm going to drop out of being a chemical major and become a fucking YouTuber.
No. When we're talking, Jesus Christ, Billy. When we are talking to masses of people, right? And we're talking about how to better yourself, how to do better in life. You have to set yourself up for success, right? You have to set yourself up for success. That's why I went to chemical engineering. That's why I became chemical engineer. And then I was like, I also want to chase my dream, but I have something to fall back on. It's a nice degree to fall back on.
Don't ever put your limitations on somebody else. Bro, I'm gonna tell you,
You
honestly,
you don't believe in statistics. You don't believe in statistics. You don't believe in market reality.
Hold on. This
You
is a
believe
fact
in this
that-
weird world.
Okay, hey, 90% of businesses will fail between over the span of 10 or 12 years. Does that mean they shouldn't try?
No. What are you talking about? But you wouldn't lie to them about their chances, right? Listen,
absolutely
I'm
not.
not telling people, hey, never go to LA. What I'm saying is your odds are low, and if you're going to recommend it, you
I
have to.
honestly believe you're gonna delete this video after because you are getting murdered. Like, this is not going good for you in any capacity. Like,
I feel the opposite.
Oh no.
I feel the opposite.
Then you should rewatch the fuck out of this because I'm telling you, man, I guarantee you, your own followers are like, damn, what the fuck we been doing? Huh?
See?
And here's what I'll do too. I'm gonna do 1v1 better.
Buddy.
And I'm not even gonna profit off this, but they're probably gonna end up buying more of my shit later. If they want, you don't have to give it away. I have.
Put this out. No thanks.
Yeah, listen.
Please don't.
Hey, I want to give them for free my fucking 30 days course and see if they learn something.
Get his marketing funnel.
Oh, God forbid you learn something new that'll help you.
Hey,
Oh,
you can get
no.
sold more crap.
Keep it away. Oh my God, bro. I'm gonna tell you, I figured you out.
Dylan,
This is all I wanted to understand.
Can I say
If
something?
you are a hurt individual that's looking to hurt other people.
You know what's
You're
funny
someone-
about this?
you're
Is
someone-
I'm living my dream. What are you talking about? I set out to be a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber.
If someone told you, you better not fucking drop out of chemical engineering school because that YouTube stuff will
didn't
never
drop
work
out.
You would hate them.
I
You would
didn't-
realize
I
that.
didn't
The way you
drop
just tried
out.
to hate on motherfuckers moving to LA.
I
Go to LA,
didn't drop
chase your
out.
fucking dreams.
I
Go
finished
to
my
businesses,
chemical engineering
ask
degree.
other people
And
so
if
you don't
somebody
have to-
tried to profit off of me while I was grinding and robbed me of my dream because I was too busy trying to buy crappy courses.
Like your chemical engineering school? Like they did your motherfucking shit? You better wake the fuck up.
No, you're so
Thanks,
out
man.
to lunch.
How much debt did you get? How much debt did you go into for that? How much debt you go into for that?
I had scholarships, none.
If you didn't have scholarships, because everyone doesn't have scholarships for you, let's look at the data, sir. If you didn't have scholarships,
I don't know
how
what
much
you're
money?
making.
How much money?
You
How
guys
much
did
money? How much money would you have went to debt?
I don't know. It's like it's a public
50?
institution.
Is
No,
it
it's like
fair to say
20.
50?
No, it's
Okay.
20.
So you would have won $20,000. I would say they robbed you. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna get your back. Everybody, that's a scam. That chemical, because you decided to drop out. No, hold on, let me finish, and then I'll let you go. Because you decided to drop out of chemical
No, I
engineering.
didn't. I finished. You're not listening.
You're finished. They're a scam. They didn't get you a job after. They're a scam. They're a scam.
What are you talking about?
They're a scam.
What are you talking about? I
They're a
chose
scam.
not to.
Oh my God, you chose not to. Like some people buy a course and choose not to do the motherfucking work. Wake up.
Oh,
When there's
the
fucking win, losers
95%,
focus on
the
winners.
95% loss rate. You guys tell everybody. Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me not collect advice.
Thank you.
The
Thank
people
you.
that I'm talking about, they get so
Some
easy
people
to
do this, yes.
No, most people. What are you talking about?
Maybe most. Maybe most.
Ty Lopez is sitting in there with the Lambo. He got the Lambo, right? He
Ty
goes,
Lopez
it's
has
closer than
changed-
you think.
Ty Lopez has changed more lives than you can even fucking fathom, but yet you sit here and you fucking mock him. That guy is. This guy owns
He's the
6
thought
of the
leader of our
biggest retail
generation.
brands in the fucking world.
He's the thought
The
leader of
guy
our
has fucking
generation.
had millions of students, but here you are as a troll with 400,000 subscribers trying to knock somebody who's helped millions of fucking people. You sound like a clown, bruh. You sound like a fucking clown when you do this shit.
Sorry, I should look up the Ty Lopez. You're right.
I think we're, you know. I think we're
So-
talking in circles now. Honestly,
I want to say something.
Hold on, I'll say this and then you can go. I apologize because I was mad at you because I felt like what you were doing was malicious. I really did. And that's why I came to that energy and that was much. So I apologize for that. But I'll tell you this. I now empathize for you because I realize the shit you say is literally from a place of hurt.
I feel bad for you.
And failure.
I
But
feel
this is-
so
this
bad
is-
for
this
you
is-
right now.
This is the fucked up part. Is you
Really?
literally
You think you're
dropped
winning
out
this
of-
debate? You're not. Just look at the chat.
Bro, you're Doug, there's nothing in this. There's nothing in this. I don't
Sorry,
even
guys,
think
my
we can
chat's
rewind
about
to
to
a
lose,
point.
huh?
I don't even think we can rewind to a point where you said fucking anything relevant. And Doug, here's the thing. You want to talk fucking numbers? Let's talk financial numbers. If you take a poll of the people who follow my shit, and the people who follow your shit, who do you think is doing better financially? The person who tells you never fucking leave, don't go to file like in LA, don't take a chance, everything's
you
a
make
fucking
it-
scam. Blah, blah,
Right.
blah,
I'm
blah,
sure
blah,
you make a
baby.
ton of money. Congratulations. That's what life's all
My
about.
people make a ton of fucking money and impact. Helping
Yeah,
people. You
right.
stand aside like
Keep telling
spectator.
yourself that.
You're a commentator.
Y'all are
Oh,
so
I
act.
just
Listen,
wanna-
listen. You know what I'll say?
I want to sit here
Can I say?
and
Can I say this
talk
one
about
second? Can I say this one second?
My name is Steven, and I make a living talking about other people, getting YouTube to pay me.
Can I say
to
something
great
real quick?
people,
Can I say
people
something
I've
real
never
quick?
met, people I've never been in contact with, but I make all these.
You're on my show right now.
Fuck out of here, man.
You know what's really funny? You know what's really
What
funny?
up?
It reminded me of something. So you call me fake news, but I actually think I'm something else. Okay? Can I tell you?
Tell me what else.
So you said that Elon Musk interview on Clubhouse is the reason why people need more people like Charlemagne the God. WTF, right? Do you like Charlemagne the God?
This is. You gotta listen to this. Jump on this YouTube. I think he's right there. I'm in my studio. Just typing.
Because can I tell you what you look like right now?
He's nice. He's potential.
So you like Charlemagne the God, and it's interesting because actually Charlemagne the God.
How long did you prep this speech? You wrote up your clip and everything. How long did you prep this shit? You feel good? Okay, go get your punchline. Go ahead.
You're the one who prepped like 16 audio things. I'm not going to go tell you, oh, you prepped for an interview like that's a diss. I prepped to talk to you.
Go.
Are you going to insult me for that? You going to insult me for being a chemical engineer? It's embarrassing.
That was an insult? Was that what you took from that? Is the fact that
you like, hey,
you told everybody to stop, and you took it as a diss?
So you like Charlemagne the God, right?
Bro, I honestly, I don't think this could have gone better for me. And like, you should delete this shit from me. I gotta go, bro.
You're just gonna leave?
What else? I mean, what the fuck else you want to say?
Can I
Honestly, I don't think you're a bad guy. I do apologize for calling you a fuckboy because, I think the fuckboy is warranted if you're being malicious. I don't think you're being malicious. I do think you're confused and you have a long journey. And I can guarantee you this: there will be a point in your life where you will change this mentality of like never getting mentorship, etc. Like, I mean, there's no sports fucking person ever. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like, I don't even know if you believe the shit you say. Like, when you listen back, you're like, I don't really believe that. You know what I mean?
No, I can't. Look, Billy, can I just make my point? Damn it, you just keep interrupting. Can I make it?
Get your punchline.
All right.
Get your clip.
So you said on fake news, right? And then at the end of our DMs, you said you better watch what you say. You better keep my name out of something like that. Keep your name out of my mouth.
Correct.
Okay. But you also love Charlemagne the God. Now, interestingly, this parallels a very interesting situation with Birdman. You remember that interview?
I love Charlemagne the God.
So Charlemagne the God, he talks about rappers. And Birdman's pissed off because he doesn't want anyone putting his name in their mouth. And he comes in angry. It's amazing. You know what's amazing to me is how so-called millionaires are so fragile. It's so interesting. Y'all put yourselves out there for millions and billions of. So I think you said you bragged to me that you had like billions of views or something like that. How many views do you have?
Our impressions have been, we can see almost 900 million times.
You paid for it. Okay, great.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I have a question for you.
So,
if I paid for it, but I made tens of millions of dollars more, did I pay for it? Anyways, well, you did that. I'll let
you put yourself out for billions of people. Then why so insecure that you freak out when I say?
I love this question. Here's why. Because as I said 3 different times during the show, I didn't come on here for me. I said what you said about me. Honestly, you didn't really say anything bad. Honestly, it was the shit you said about other people and the poison that you put out to people about living. No, specifically the messages you put out to people about coaching and investing to themselves and taking a risk and a leap and betting on themselves. That is what makes you fucking worse than all the rest of them.
So most of these coachings you're talking about are courses, which are repackaged self-help.
Why are you so mad at a course?
Repackaged
the course.
Oh, I'm not mad at the course. I'm mad at repackaged. I'm mad at repackaged self-help that they're selling for $2,000. Say it's gonna break through the paywall, guys. Break through the paywall.
I mean, bro, here's the thing. When you summarize, of course, it's a choice. You don't have to buy your shit. Like, you don't have to buy anything, and you're going to be exactly where you are in life, and that's how you grow. But I don't believe that. I believe you study other people, and that's why you ask someone like myself, other people come in, you learn a lot, you're a student of the game, and you're picking shit up all the time. Problem is, with so much information, the barrier to entry being so low on YouTube, anybody can post anything. So when somebody said, why don't I just go to YouTube and look up something? Because you're likely going to run in the wrong direction. So the people don't go to med school on fucking YouTube, even though every single thing
That's
you
why
will
I
learn
tell
is
people
on
to go to
YouTube.
books. That's why I tell them to crack a book.
But even on books, like nobody would be a self-taught doctor. Why not? Even though they can learn all this shit at libraries, why not?
That's a great question. It's because we have standards, right? There's more than just learning from a book. You have to have practicals. You have to go
Correct.
and look.
Correct.
Yeah, you think you're making a point here?
Yeah, I'm making a fucking point. Why do you think people get business coaches? Because you gotta have standards. You gotta have
But
the
they're going to business coaches that aren't business coaches, that have never owned a real business.
Somewhere. So do you believe that people should pay for business coaches?
If you're not a business already established with if you have no cash flow and you're trying to start a business, no, you should not. Look, when you're starting out,
Okay, so
you have
the best time to get a coach is after you lose a bunch of money and waste a bunch of time. Tell that to any fucking great. Tell that to LeBron. Tell that to fucking Kobe. Tell that to Tom Brady. What the fuck are you talking about? You sound dumb.
You know what you're talking about? You're saying, hey, the time you should pay for a $2,000 coach is when you're a beginner basketball player. No, the time you pay for a $2,000 coach.
Steven, can I ask you a question? What if you and I were both out here, and I don't know how to build a house. I don't know shit about building a house. I don't know if you do. Maybe you can engineer. You're probably more likely than me, right? So both of us are there. We're looking to buy a house. I hire a coach who's built a house 1,000 times. You say, I'm just going to fucking look it up on YouTube. Whose house is going to be built faster? And whose house would you bet your life living in?
I don't tell people to go learn from YouTube.
Your roof is going to come down.
I don't tell people to go learn from YouTube.
So where would they learn? Where would they learn? Because I'm just going to go find somebody with a construction business who's super successful that's done it 1,000 times, and I'm going to go in debt to pay them to get ahead. What are you going to do? Just tell me.
Wait. Sorry.
Okay.
You're trying to learn how to construct the house from scratch.
From the beginning, you and I are going to try and learn how to build a fucking house.
Okay. I go to school for it.
Hold on. I get a coach that's done. How much money are you going to lose going to school?
Yeah.
That is a coach.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, you're going to go to school and you're going to take an undergrad degree for 2 years and learn about fucking isosceles triangles and all kinds of weird shit. And I'm gonna pay against a successful entrepreneur and home builder who's already done it. Who the fuck do you think is going to get the result faster?
You're going to learn how to build a house without going to college.
No, you're missing. I'm going to learn from someone who does it every day. Correct. Who the fuck would you bet on?
I'm stunned by this conversation.
Okay, hold on. Just answer the question. This is wild to me. Just let's follow logic here. Can we agree on something? The first 2 years of most traditional college.
This is
No. This is fun. I like it. But anyways, the first 2 years of undergrad, what kind of courses do you typically take?
You take like generic courses.
Yeah, give me some examples.
You take chemistry. You take math. You take whatever. Yeah. I'll take your basics.
Astrology.
You learn to think. You don't learn astrology.
Yes, you absolutely. It's an elective, and it is fucking for sure a thing.
Astrology does not. You're talking about astronomy.
Astronomy. What the fuck, homie? Astrology. We're gonna get. Exactly. I'm not embarrassed. I don't give a fuck because you can take the person who learned astronomy or astrology.
You take the hard courses at school. Let me tell you.
Hey, you better fucking deflect because my point is just fucking better than yours. So you go 2 years. Listen, just listen.
I'm listening.
2 years. You're taking all the bullshit undergrad.
Yeah.
You learn nothing about building a home, but yet you go. I went to the University of San Diego, and by that point, you would now be $50,000 into debt. I pay a fucking contract manager or project manager, whatever the fuck, $10,000 who does it every day. Has been in the industry for 30 years, so I can work side by side them.
$10,000 for how long? I mean, the damn laptop gets you 1 hour of meeting.
But stop. Just our situation.
Yeah.
Who would you bet on in that particular case to build your home after those 2
so
years?
If you're actually talking
about that question, 2 years. Who would you bet on? You and me. I don't want to explain. I want a yes or no.
I bet on the guy who went through the proper channels to get the right connections to make their way.
So I agree. So what would be the proper channel? Me, who learned and did it for 2 years with the best in the world, or you, who learned about fucking astronomy or astrology?
You're not going to want to hear this, bud. You're not going to want to hear this, bud. But all the time, people are limited by their degrees.
Pause for a second. Will you just answer? Who the fuck would you bet on?
I bet on the guy who went to college.
But you, in your first 2 years, you didn't even take a class on it yet. You're still an undergrad. You sound
Do you realize there's more to college? Do you realize there's more to college than like taking classes?
I went.
How to think. It's how to finish something. It's a measure
We're
of somebody's.
talking about how to build a fucking house.
Yeah, they're not going to
You're
trust.
going
They're
to
not
do
going to
it.
trust that to somebody who said, "Hey, don't worry, trust me. I got a mentor." They're going to trust the guy who knows calculus.
No,
They're going
it's
to trust the guy
me,
who knows AutoCAD, right? Who knows
It's
that?
trust me. I've been building homes for 2 years with the best in the industry. It's different.
What?
It's different. You just said they're not going to
They're
trust.
not
You just no, like dog, you're stretching. You don't
You
believe
sound
that.
straight goofy.
There's
Listen,
no
can I say
way
something?
you believe what you're
Can I
saying.
say something? Okay, listen.
Hold on. No. There's no fucking way you actually believe that you would pay the person that went undergrad and did random courses to build a home than the person who worked with somebody who already fucking does it.
As
You
as a beginner, on the job site, do you know how these things work? Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Jay Mazzini. He's in the late stage of a scam, guys. Listen, scammer life cycles go through a lot of things. Initial up before anyone's heard of them. They start getting some traction. Sell them the dream. Then there's the peak of their popularity. But inevitably, the reviews start coming in. People start telling their story. The scam pages come out, and they slowly dive down into obscurity. That can happen a lot of different ways. It can happen like a whimper, or they can go out with a bang. And I'm convinced that Jay Mazzini is trying to do the latter. He's not content to go out into obscurity like many other scammers have in the past. He wants to go out like as cynically as possible, ripping off his fan base. Now, to be clear, let's catch you up. I made a video about the $100 million scam where he talked about Jay Mazzini's clothing line, Mazzini Italy, where he was promising giveaways that, of course, never happened. He promised like $10,000 if you bought like $100 worth of product on his website. I mean, crazy things like that, to the point where he literally promised away $100 million in giveaways.
Hear this quickly. For the next 200 people to place 1,000 Mazzini Italy orders, like for each person to place a $1,000 Mazzini Italy order, it's a lot, but I'll be cutting out a check for $125,000.
Now, recently, what has he been doing? Well, he's been doing a Bitcoin scam. Now, normally we see this, what's surprising is normally we see this with with actual hackers, like you're hacked and then you start posting about Bitcoin. With Jay Mazzini, I don't see any evidence that he was hacked. Instead, this almost looks like something he would just normally do. So he started posting on his Twitter account, I am buying Bitcoin a little above market price. I am buying Bitcoin, and several times he's been posting this since January 1. He says he's paying 5.5% over market value for Bitcoin. And why is he doing that? Why is he not just buying it on an exchange? So you can just post about it. It's because he says he has an account limit and he just wants to buy so much Bitcoin. He wants to buy it at its peak, guys. I messaged him actually. I got some hit me up. He never did, surprisingly. Now, what's interesting to note here is that even though he keeps posting about this, he also is deleting it constantly on his Instagram. As you can see, there's no giveaway here. Although, once again, if you go back to his Twitter, all the Jay Mazzini Bitcoin scams are still up and running as usual. So how does the scam work? Now that we know sort of what he's doing, his social media is dying because people have exposed him as a scam, and now he's taking people's Bitcoin. Well, here's how it works. Mohammed Amar went through this, and not only that, he took screenshots. So Jay Mazzini starts it, and he'll tell you, I'm just sitting for 2 points now, you're going to be good. I really don't want to be in an awkward position. This guy says, I got you, brother. I need 20 minutes to send. Hey, brother, it's sent. So, sends a wire transfer. Okay, inshallah, man, I will be on the lookout. By the way, this is what you call, it's not a true affinity scam, but this is kind of falls down that line. An affinity scam is when somebody tries to use your fellow class of maybe identity to try to get you to trust them. So in Jay Mazzini's case, it's the fact that he is a Muslim, right? And so he's constantly posting about his faith, which that's fine, but then he uses that to try to bring you in and say he's trustworthy and then scam you in the end. So again, after he sends it, the wire transfer isn't there. He supposedly sent it. So he says, okay, am I getting the 0.9 coin? Inshallah, send me your details, we will sort it out, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't get it. He says, I sent a wire for 81,000. You should receive it in 2 to 3 business days at the most. Classic scam. What's the word? You trying to play me? So now he's pretending to get upset about the fact he hasn't been paid his Bitcoin yet, even though he hasn't really paid his wire. This guy says, I texted in the morning, you said you'd send the coin today. Are you going to wait till you get the wire then send it? This guy says, wire has been canceled. Who are you for me to send you the funds first? Then you send me the coin. Sorry, I'm not obligated to trust you first. Obviously, this is ridiculous. Jay Mazzini has chosen to go outside the broker traditional method of getting Bitcoin because he wants to sort of buy it up. But then he wants people to send him cash first. Obviously, it's a scam. And why would you pay 5.5% over market value for this? Now, this guy correctly responds, neither am I, bro. You're asking me to send you 0.9 Bitcoin for $35,000 just because you texted me this. You didn't show me any proof either. It's really sad to see this kind of stuff coming from you, bro. I always thought you were a really legit guy with a good heart, but you high-key cheating people. Yes, that's correct. Yo, bro, I don't know you from a hole in the wall to send you anything first. Who are you? If anything, you're cheating me. You want me to wait for funds to reach you so I can say, oh, Jay, I'm not going to run. I'm supposed to trust first. Okay, classic manipulation. Yeah, so what can we learn from this, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, what's the point of all this? Is it just that Jay Mazzini's pathetic? Well, that's definitely part of it. You know, he does these giveaways. He pretends to be giving away money to people. He lives this lifestyle of having all this cash, right? So that's the thing that's going on with Jay Mazzini. I mean, he's a classic con man. They've been around forever, but they manipulate you by making you feel like you're the untrustworthy one for not putting your money with them, right? And that's what this guy's doing. He's saying, I'm the successful businessman, blah, 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 even though there's no proof of that. There's no proof of anything this guy has done, as a matter of fact, except for flash money around and scam people. So, yeah, I just wanted to put this out there. Do not fall for this guy's lies. And recently, the scam has just gotten so blatant that I felt an obligation to tell you guys about this so you can avoid this man at all costs. He will tell you everything you want to hear, but then you'll be left holding the bag. Do not fall for this stuff, guys. Honestly, it's so funny because every time you see a Bitcoin scam now, you just assume they're hacked, and it's just funny to see somebody who probably is not hacked because this falls right along, you know, the normal MO of Jay Mazzini. So yeah, that's basically it. Just wanted to get this out real quick, tell you guys what was happening. That's it. See ya. What up, boys? I'm back early, a day early, because I'm pissed. I gotta make this video real quick. Regular videos start tomorrow. Expect that. But I gotta talk about this. SEC hunts for fraud in social media posts hyping GameStop, aka you post on Wall Street Bets. Be careful. It's time. The SEC's coming after you. Expect some jail time, baby. And you know, we gotta talk about this because it flies in the face of what the SEC should be doing here. They've got limited manpower. Okay, I get it. They got limited time. So why are you going to spend your time looking at a bunch of brain-dead Redditors? No offense. I'm one of you, okay? Relax. When you could be looking at these billionaire hedge funds who've managed to just escape away, or they're trying to, with the help of people like Robinhood, who's restricting trade. Meanwhile, in the exact same article where they announced, quote, Securities and Exchange Commission investigators are combing social media and message boards posts for signs that fraud played a role in the dizzying stock swings for GameStop, according to people familiar with the matter. Okay, nice. In that same exact breath that they're saying, hey guys, we're getting the magnifying glass, Wall Street Bets, we're coming for you. In the same breath that they're coming after a bunch of Redditors, they are apparently talking to a former SEC counsel who says, oh yeah, the Robinhood did, definitely not illegal. We've already thought about it, we're not illegal.
Tom, what do you make of Robinhood actions here? Because they're now facing lawsuits. Did Robinhood do anything illegal here or fraudulent?
Probably not. Certainly not by restriction.
Look at the astroturfing campaign going on before your very eyes. Let me be clear about what they're saying. You're the bad guy. Hey, you trader at home, you know, with your $600 stimmy, your stimulus check, you're the bad guy. You've committed a crime. You may have committed a crime. The SEC is looking at you. They're taking a very careful look at you. Meanwhile, these scumbags at Robinhood, who he says, oh, it wasn't our fault. Oh, it was the clearinghouse. Okay, well, did the clearinghouse do anything wrong? Oh, no, it wasn't them. No conspiracy. The guy calls it a conspiracy, the Robinhood guy. Look at this. This is when Elon Musk was talking with the CEO of Robinhood.
You can have a strong say in who got put in charge of that organization, since it's an industry consortium, not a government consortium, or not a government regulatory agency.
I don't have any reason to believe that. I think that's just like, then you're getting into kind of the conspiracy theories a little bit. So I just have no reason to believe that that's the case,
Yeah, guys, listen, hey, look, don't get into conspiracy theories. You're saying something fishy happened? Well, SEC's not going to look into it, guys. The SEC's spending their time looking into you guys over on Wall Street Bets, baby. These guys, they're you guys over here at Grandma. Look at you. Look at you. 8.5 million criminals. We're going to change that. Good luck. I mean, I'm subscribed too, so I may be in trouble myself. But let's just remember, right? Let's just remember what happened. You guys remember in 2008 when only one banker went to jail? This is that all over again. You guys remember when Pogo in 2013, Project on Government Oversight, released a thing about how the SEC has risk of regulatory capture? In other words, they're owned by the people that they're supposed to be regulating. In other words, if they ever were faced with a series of fraud, they couldn't investigate it because the people who control them are the very people they should be investigating. Oh yeah, but guys, don't look into this. This is a big conspiracy, la la land, fun times. It's just yet another story that when big hedge fund managers manipulate the market, it's just them doing their job. But when Wall Street Bets gets a hold of the fact that a stock is shorted over 100% and they take advantage of it, well, you guys may have broken the law, guys. You guys are being investigated. Let's not forget that we have hedge fund managers on record, like Jim Cramer, admitting that they would do illegal things, guys. They would do illegal things, and they still were not investigated. Why? Well, the SEC doesn't understand it.
I hit a lot of guys with rim. Now, you can't ferment. That's a violation of ferment. You can't ferment. You can't create yourself an impression that a stock's down.
This is Jim Cramer, back in the day, talking about what he would do as a hedge fund manager. He's basically saying you can't manipulate the market, but then listen to what he said.
But you do it anyway because the SEC doesn't understand it. So
oh wait, what was that again? Hold on, sorry, Jim. Go back.
The stock's down. But you do it anyway because the SEC doesn't understand it.
You do it anyway because the SEC doesn't understand it. They don't understand it, or they don't want to understand it because they're too busy looking around for a bunch of people at home with their stimulus checks and investigating them, rather than investigating the hedge funds, the broker houses, everybody who magically seems to be lining up all the dominoes in order to screw you and benefit the billionaires. But guys, don't look into it. If you do, hey, we all know who you are. Alex Jones.
Propellants. Insect propellants, people lather themselves with. And then you can protect your head from the sun so you don't get...
See how fast I did that? Folks, I'm an expert. Every day when I leave work, I do this. To a wide shot, guys, with to full power.
I don't have any reason to believe that. I think that's just like, then you're getting into kind of the conspiracy theories a little bit. So I just have no reason to believe that that's the case,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the $10 million studio. I am the Internet Detective. Guys, welcome. Today, we are hunting down a scammer who left their phone number while impersonating me in my own comment section, dude. The balls. I can't believe the cojones to do this, to think that they're going to do this and get away with it. Are you kidding me, Dad? Not that, as usual. Yeah, it's right here, guys. It's all over my comment section. This has happened multiple times, and I never thought anyone would fall for this. So it's point number 2. It's interesting in terms of Bitcoin, gold, and stocks. It says it's CoffeeZilla. Of course, it's not me. And they leave their scammer WhatsApp number with a bunch of spaces in it to get around YouTube's AI spam detection, right? A lot of these comments, they do go to spam. YouTube is trying to watch out for this stuff. But these scammers have found out ways around it. So my subscribers, like every single video, faced with this, which to be honest is a bit of a test. I mean, if you're watching my videos for real, you should not fall for this, but literally, some of you have messaged me, and you go, wait, why are you telling us about this Bitcoin scam, Steve? I thought you were against this stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they link me this, and I'm like, you're getting scammed in my own comment section. So I thought I'd finally address it. It's about time. It's just because these people won't go away, you know, they won't stop remaking new accounts. So I literally have to address it. Otherwise, I feel like someone's eventually going to get scammed, and I'm going to feel really bad. Literally, even somebody that like I talk to now and then, he's like, yeah, I texted back that number you sent me, and it's kind of weird. Why are you doing that? And I'm like, dude, you know me. How do you not know that that's a scam? There's even a check mark beside my name that says copy, like it's the real CopyZilla. It's like verified, but you know, it doesn't stop people from, you know, falling for it basically and texting this number. And so I decided I was going to text it myself, but not before being an idiot and complaining about it on Twitter. Basically, I run an anti-scam channel. Y'all making me look goof. How hard is it to police the stuff? I tried flagging and blocking these kind of comments because they're impersonating. And literally, it's not just one account. There are 4 accounts so far that I know of that have tried commenting on all my videos. They all have my profile picture, my username, whatever. It's so easy to fake and impersonate people on YouTube. And I blocked 4 of them, probably more than that at this point. But they keep coming. I finally decided, okay, what am I going to do about it? And then I got this message the scammer for content. And I was like, Andy, you're right. Honestly, you should have my job. Because that's a good idea. Instead of complaining about it online, like a whip, I should just do something about it. Why am I not doing something? So, that's what I do, guys. Rather than complain, lest it be said that I'm a Twitter warrior, I message this guy. I say, what's up? But basically, I want to know what this guy's telling my poor audience, my unsuspecting sheep that are walking into this trap, thinking that it's me, you know, helping them out. So I say, I saw your YouTube comment. I'm interested in Bitcoin stuff. My name is Ben, huge fan, man. He says, you've done well to contact me regarding cryptocurrencies investment. How long have you been into cryptocurrencies? I also do invest in any project. In crypto, but I do Bitcoin, whatever. It's not true. But I just want to get them all greedy, right? Okay. I currently have an info to share that can get you 12% daily returns. Do you know about cryptocurrency mining? We're going to talk about how crazy 12% is, but wow, that's intense. Daily returns of 12%. I'm going to be honest. You know, I'm going to be honest. If you fall for this, you've learned nothing. It is kind of a test. I'm almost thinking of unblocking these scammers. I mean, I'm going to continue to block them. But it's almost like a funny test to put into my videos. Like, are you paying attention? Do you know what too good to be true means? Because if you fall for this, this is just crazy. It's crazy. And he says, okay, yeah, I'm going to describe cryptocurrency. Basically, it's this idea that Mike Winnet already did a video about. It's not making money. You're probably not going to be profitable. You're just not going to mine fast enough. I'll link to the video right here. But basically, this guy sends me some random video of a bunch of loud cryptocurrency mining, I guess. Yeah, that's mine. And then basically tries to build some credibility, and then links me a website. He says, you can verify. We are under regulation by BBB, FTC, IMF, SEC, basically everybody. This is finally the webpage they give us to maybe go to and check that out. We'll check that out in a second, but I want to finish this conversation real quick. He said basically he wants me to invest $5,000 worth of Bitcoin into 12% daily returns. I'll get $600 per day, according to this man. Oh, how nice, CopyZilla, to hook me up. So eventually I want to press this guy. I want to see what he's going to do if I ask him how to prove himself. So I say, my question is, how do I know you're real? Hello? I honestly want to invest a lot of money. Can you send me proof? I'm willing to put down $5,000. He says, okay, he texts on Instagram. I say, no, send me a picture of yourself. So I'm expecting a picture of me pulled from the internet. Here's where the plot thickens. Who is this? He says, this is Graham Lisa. Message Graham Lisa 221. These guys are so confused and so unorganized, they don't even keep up the scam of like, it's CopyZilla. And even when you go to that Instagram channel, it's like pathetic. The first line is human, as if they want to convince you that this is a real person. Hey guys, first line of Instagram bio, we are human. I am not a bot. It says they're from Barcelona, the scammer, which is probably not true. Because later, when we go to that web address that they sent us initially, CoinX Mining, we find this. CoinX Miner is registered in the UK. So is she in the UK or is she in Barcelona? Of course, we don't know. And of course, there we have 12% daily, 11% daily, 9% daily. Those are their investment plans, whatever. And they say, yeah, we're so legit. We're actually registered with the UK government. So I, of course, had to look further into it. There's this company called CoinX Ltd. So I looked that up, of course, and they give us an address. And so I looked for their headquarters on Street View. Obviously, I want to see it. Is it registered? No, I don't see it anywhere here. So I end up hunting down their little articles of incorporation or whatever. We actually have a different proposed address here. It's 3 High Street instead of whatever this was, 5 Clerkenwell Road. So I say, okay, that's interesting. Let's go check out High Street. Now, unfortunately, here we also have no luck. So the best I can explain it is basically this. This is some virtual office or something they did through a lawyer. And actually, I don't even think they're CryptoX. I think they're randomly using someone else's crypto, company to front through. Because CryptoX Ltd has its own website, which you can find here, which looks nothing like CoinX Miner or whatever they sent us to. And so literally, they're putting someone else's, registration with the UK up in order to prove themselves legit in the hopes that you're gonna, of course, fall for it. At several points during this operation, this scam, you could have seen through it. It's not well constructed. I'd give this a 1 out of 5 in terms of persuasiveness. It's so obvious that this is a scam. But if you ever doubt it, if you ever wonder, how do you know? How do you know it's a scam? Well, I'll explain. They say they've been running for 1,852 days. Let's say I put in $1 with crypto or CoinX miners, and they actually do what they say they're going to do. Put together a little spreadsheet, give me 12% daily. Okay, I put in $1. Everyone clear so far? It starts to compound pretty quick. By day 100, I'm made $100,000 from basically nothing, from $1 invested. But by day 365, I have made 822 quadrillion for $1. This scammer is going to give me 822 quadrillion. Now, put that into context. I went ahead and put the total market cap of Bitcoin, because they say this is all from Bitcoin mining. So the total market cap of Bitcoin right now, if you own all the Bitcoin, is somewhere around $600 billion. You're barely moving a decimal place. But I went ahead and went further. I said, what about the entire wealth of the entire global population? Not like you're Jeff Bezos, but you own Jeff Bezos, you own Bill Gates, you own every single person's wealth on Earth. How much money do you have? Well, $360 trillion. That's the global wealth. They are saying that they will get you 2,286 times the total global wealth. You could buy the entire Earth 2,000 times over if you invested $1 with these guys for 365 days. Guys, this stuff is so comical. All you have to do is a little bit of math, and you will discover that these guys are trying to scam you. And it's really frustrating because YouTube doesn't give me a better way to block these guys, because they can just keep putting up new fake accounts. So I decided, for your sake, to just go through their little scam, walk through it, and try to show you how it all operates. I will say that I told him to send me his Bitcoin address because I just was curious how much is in his wallet, and I checked, and there's $0 in his wallet. So this scammer has, unfortunately, made $0 so far. So you guys out there, you get an A+. I guess that's what this all comes down to, is that I said it was a test for my followers, kind of is, and you all have passed with flying colors. I guess no one actually followed this through to the end, which makes me very happy, because I would hate to see you guys get scammed. And just stay vigilant, guys. There's a lot of scammers out there. Look for that little check mark, because without it, you don't know who that is. And obviously, if it's saying weird stuff like join this Bitcoin scam or something like that, don't fall for it. Obviously, I would never tell you guys to do that. It's so against what I believe in. to go ahead and join some weird cloud mining setup. So that's it. I'm never going to ask you to join some, investment scheme of mine where you get 12% daily. It's never going to happen. I know some of you are waiting for that day, but it's not going to happen. So, yeah, that's it. That's basically it. Just wanted to make a quick video about this where I, saw a scammer and I texted him back. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, baby, we have a show for you guys today. Brian Rose was just arrested, according to him, for campaigning. Is it true? Is Brian Rose being persecuted? Or is he just a jackass? Let's find out, guys. The biggest clown. Look, I may be the owner of the circus at this point, covering all these guys. But if I am, Brian Rose is my lead show. He's my lead act. Because nobody's clouding harder than Brian Rose. You remember he was Mr. Freedom Platform. It's hard to believe. That was so long ago. Right now, if you go to freedomplatform.tv/donate, it redirects you. Literally, I'm not even joking. Redirects you to his campaign. He's not even bothering pretending like he cares about freedom of speech anymore. Now he's just going, on to my next thing. Now, Mr. Mayor, whatever. He's in last place, according to the polls. Okay? A quick look at the poll shows that Brian Rose is gray, is other. He literally doesn't even have his own bucket. He's just bucketed in with all the other, millions of irrelevant candidates for Mayor of London. And yeah, so that's where he's at. But he's drifting on this, and now he's making a big show of this, right? I was arrested. But first of all, I'm not even sure that's true. Look, you go to the Daily Mail article about this. Geez, of course I can find look at that. Getting targeted. See, it's not just you guys that get targeted with these ridiculous. I get targeted. You see, London Mayor candidate Brian Rose is fined £200. So I don't think he was arrested. I think he was fined. First of all, I think he's just complaining. But second of all, I want to pick apart this little pity party he's throwing for himself and show you guys the truth. Because as soon as he does this, he sees an opportunity, right? He's trying to get publicity. Because he can't get any publicity. I think this is the first time anyone's talked about it besides me. Daily Mail picked up this story, right? He sees it as a way to get publicity, but I want to set the record straight because Brian Rose is harassing these poor police officers for doing their job and turning it into something it's not. Brian Rose, if you guys don't know, thinks he's above COVID lockdown. He thinks COVID's a hoax. Honestly, that's what David Icke thinks, and I think he thinks the same thing because he keeps saying, "Oh, we have a disproportional response to the virus," but then he says we should open up back restaurants. Okay, bars. Okay. That's fine with me. Then wear a mask. Why are you the only one in this picture not wearing a mask? Brian Rose never wears a mask. In fact, he was running around London, shaking everyone's hand, doing all this stuff, and finally these poor people stopped him, this poor officer, and then he harasses this poor lady and tries to say it's political. Look at this. Look at this. This is the lady shutting him down. What you doing on the campaign? What you're doing on the campaign does not follow the essence of the lockdown. Brian turns it into, this seems a little political. No, bro, you're running around shaking people's hands. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. This is him while he's running for mayor. He's running around, no mask, shaking people's hands, and completely ignoring all guidelines. He doesn't give up. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Look at him. I'll shake your hand. He goes, yeah, I'm COVID secure. It's political that you guys are finding me for breaking COVID rules when I'm the only one going out maskless, shaking people's hands.
There is no contact with any citizens. We are literally out there capturing digital assets, communicating with you digitally.
Then he gets all conspiratorial and says, obviously you've been watching us, following us, targeting us. It goes on, and he says, Lib Dims have also been campaigning. Yeah, actually, there's some truth to that, but what he doesn't tell you is they were leafleting, which means they were sticking like mail into letterboxes, right? They were just giving people that. That is a far cry from this.
Every borough in London has its unique challenges. Your next mayor must be on the ground.
Little bit different from literally going around shaking everyone's hands like COVID doesn't exist. Listen, I'm just going to say this right now. If Brian Rose doesn't believe in COVID, just say so, baby. At least we know where you stand. Instead, you have to pretend that you didn't talk to David Icke, that you don't believe in you believe in COVID, all this stuff, and then you do the opposite of anything to do with COVID. We know where you stand. And this is just another great example, dude. This is like, this stuff, you can't make this stuff up. Again, Ryan tried to play persecution. Oh, you persecuting me, guys. I'm just following the rules like everyone else. This is Ryan, no mask, as you can see. Every other person, and this is indoors, every other person masked up. And this jackass thinks he's above the law. Guys, you're not above the law. This is what I hate, man. All these influencers in LA, all these celebrities, like Joe Rogan, all these guys, they all think nothing applies to them. They think, oh, I can go without a mask. I don't need a mask. And then they're the exact ones that complain about the country being locked down. You idiots are the reason the country's still locked down. Listen, I agree with a lot of what these people say about, hey, we can't close the country down forever. I agree. Look, I'm in Texas, baby. We have a lot open. But the only way things can continue to be open, the only way you have to manage that balance, right? That tipping point balance of controlling the virus while at the same time putting people back to work as they should be, you have to follow protocol. So when I see people like this idiot thrifting your money to pay for a battle bus, by the way, we didn't even talk about that because it's a rat to go over the whole story. But when I see this guy saying, oh my gosh, I'm persecuted. Look at what everyone else is doing. This is political. No, you're the only one going out without a mask. There's nothing political. This poor lady is right, and she's getting harassed by Brian Rose. Oh, you're making it political. You've been targeting this. You've been following. They're doing it in a much more dangerous way. Dude, no, they're not. Show me another political campaign that's doing this. What are you talking about, dude? You're such an idiot, Brian, and I see right through you, and I'm going to call you out. Listen, other politicians, they're not great. Don't get me wrong. But this guy is an opportunist. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. And he's an egomaniac. Who puts their face, a 10-foot tall version of their face on the side of a bus? It takes a special type of person to do that. I mean, that's even not hardly a politician thing. That's only a Brian Rose thing.
So I'm stopping the campaigning right now. I've been told that we cannot.
Just put it into context. He just spent all the followers' money on this stupid battle bus that he thought he was going to run around London shaking everyone's hands without a mask, and then he's all butthurt about it that he was fined £200. He says he was arrested. He was fined.
Campaigns are out there right now, campaigning as we speak on the ground. But
again, the only thing I'm aware of, look, it might be different, but the only thing I'm aware of is other campaigns are literally doing leaflets. See, the Lib Dim leader said his party was acting within the law, pushing leaflets through letterboxes. That's a far cry from this guy being the only guy without a mask on the campaign trail, spreading COVID to everybody. Ryan Rose is now appealing the penalties in this decision in order to ensure that a free and fair election takes place on London May 6th. Does anybody else find that Brian Rose is just like a worse version of Trump? He's like the UK. He's like copying it in every way. He's like going, make London great again, whatever. He like refuses to wear a mask. But he has none of the I feel like blue collar appeal that Trump had. I mean, I know it's weird that Trump had any blue collar appeal. He's a rich guy, but he did. He connected with that like base in a way that I just don't see Brian Rose doing. And yet he's trying all the same like tricks, but he doesn't actually have any of the numbers. Look at this guy. He's not even in last place. He's sharing last place with like 8 other people. He's doing, everyone's persecuting me, whatever. Bro, you're irrelevant to the race. You're not even in the race right now. So yeah, that's it. That's the trending news of the day. Brian Rose was just arrested. Let me know what you guys think. This is not a case of, oh, they knew I was a big threat. Brian Rose was my name on a battle bus, and so they went out to get me. No, this poor cop lady, she saw you just shaking people's hands, going into stores without a mask on, and she probably was like, yeah, you can't do that. It's like one of the worst seasons of COVID right now. Anyway, I know people don't want to hear that. I know they want to like go back to work and like open the restaurants up more. I do too. Which is all the more reason why you have to. Anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna get heated about this, and I know people have different opinions on it, but at least you have to admit that if you're the guy who says follow the science, Mr. Brian Follow the Science Rose, try following the science for a change. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you. Come on. Like, nobody's ever gonna listen to a song this cheesy and lame, dude. I need something original. Oh, what's this? A notification on my phone. r/coffeezilla_GG uploaded a new song. Let's take a listen. Oh my God, Lamborghini, Lamborghini, Lamborghini. Joy like Ollie, honey and Ollie, honey and Ollie. It's a Lady Saturday, baby. Shut that off. Shut that off. Let's go to the board. How are you guys doing? What's up? That was made by one of you. That's right, on r/coffeezilla_GG, beating out all other stupid theme songs you could imagine. Go to coffeezilla_GG. Guys, today it's a Lazy Reddit Saturday. You know what that means. We're looking at the memes of the community. Last week I asked you to tell me a time you were scammed, and you guys delivered. Let's take a look at that first. We got a lot of these. Good job, guys. A lot of pyramid schemes in there. This guy got sold on a C++ learning kit. This guy lost $60,000. I was organizing a dance festival in country that shall not be named. Lost over $60,000. How? Not knowing the local way of doing business and applying the Canadian way of organizing events in a place that's built on corruption. Dude, why does that have no upfront? Got scammed by a private investigator who took an upfront fee and did nothing. It was only when I told my mom, she said, "You didn't pay them first, right?" Yeah. Common scam. Years later, I ended up being my own internet detective. Hey, I feel like this is not a real story. I became a real internet detective and can see the amount of effort the same job required. Just how badly I was conned at the time. Yeah, guys, look, I have the hardest job in the world. To be real with you guys, this is tough, what I do. I remember I joined an MLM called Primerica. Had no idea about scams or anything like that. My friend introduced me. I got sold by the scammer, motivational speeches, etc. Guys, don't do this. They wanted me to go door-to-door service selling insurance and vacuum cleaners. How do those things fix? Ma'am, you're going to need the vacuum suck 5000. And while you're at it, can I sell you on some life insurance? These things are dead. I'm going to have to go ahead and award the Primerica MLM, and I think you guys will all agree, going door-to-door selling insurance and vacuum cleaners, that's about as bad as it gets. Private message, wow, your client sucks. Yeah. Congratulations. Internet points, thanks for playing. Now we're moving on from the competition to the memes, guys. This is what you really came for. And this is what y'all are good at. Honestly, I don't even know why we do a challenge. Y'all are legends of these memes, okay? Traders on TikTok be like, "Hello there. Have you heard of the good news of our Lord and Savior, the pump?" Respect the pump. Look, I know people were saying, "Ivan on tech or whatever is legit." Dude, it's a good meme. Just accept the meme into your life. Accept the pump and accept the meme into your life. Please. Please. Steven, after he finished the Div Mat course. Oh my gosh. What is this? Dude, this is this is the best deepfake I've ever seen. Look at that! Oh wait, it has sound, dude. I was missing the sound. It should get even better. Oh, this is epic! Yes! Honestly, though, how'd you get real footage? I don't even know that's. I mean, that just looks like a gym training session, to be quite honest. Damlock, the true seafood here, dropping poverty-ending wisdom margin. Is Damlock rap now?
Money is the root of all evil. No. Lack of money is the root of all evil. Lack of money is the root of all evil. Lack of money is the root of all evil. Lack of money is the root of all evil. Lack of money is the root of all evil. No man is wrong by the stomach. No. Lack of money.
But how do y'all have time to do this? I'm shocked. Why is anyone watching me, dude? This guy's crushing it. Damlock money wisdom. When Amish becomes a meditation guru and runs an ashram for the future. Oh, guys, you guys don't know. The Drift podcast is alive and well over on the Drift channel. Link that right there. Let's see what this is about. If you don't know, we praise the algorithm all the time. want to believe that this is actually written, directed, sang by Amish. He does like comedy. He loves it. Don't send this to Amish, whatever you guys do. This is going to go way too sad. I swear, dude. Next one. What time is it? And then they link to a Goop product called the Pelvic Clock Exercise Device. Only $84. As you can see, what are you supposed to do with it? What is it, like a little piece of plastic? That's all it is? That's $84? Dude, Gwyneth Paltrow is the real fake guru. What the hell is going on? Who would buy that? This lady's running the real racket, dude. What am I focused on? I'm focused on all these baby gurus. And Gwyneth Paltrow's just crushing the game. CoffeeZilla, after he's destroyed all the fake gurus, you can finally sell his own course with zero competition. If I ever sell a course, it's the ultimate test if you guys have learned your lesson from all my videos. I'm not going to sell a course. If I sell a course, guys, I fully expect none of you to buy it. No sales. I want to be the one guru who can promise extreme riches and nobody falls for it. The sad thing is I think but I like to hope not. Coffee casually walking into a fake guru, invested in YouTube and do some cleanup. Hey, I would never stop. Listen, I just want you guys to be aware of this, man. I would never do. I'm a peaceful guy. I'm a lover. When you're a CoffeeZilla student, I don't have students, guys. Guru, I can show you how to get rich trading. I mean, really? Guru. Yeah, just pay me $1,500. All right, then. Keep your secrets. Oh, why did you have to use Frodo Baggins, though? I feel like there's some kind of an innuendo here that I don't appreciate, quite frankly. Swag Academy stonk. Swag YOLO. Now they will think I'm cool. Dude, I've got swag now. Don't ever forget it. You can never say I don't have swag. I literally graduated from the academy. So please. YouTube can be brutal for scammers when new emerging scammer sees himself in the CoffeeZilla thumbnail. Dude, you know what's weird is that like it doesn't feel, we've grown a lot in the past year, and it feels like, I feel like we're just still the same channel, but it's wild to think we have any kind of influence, and that's all thanks to you guys. So shout out to all the CoffeeZilla_GG subreddit members. Shout out to everybody subscribed. You guys are literally what's helping regulate this industry. Because without your views, like there'd be no impact, right? Next meme. Thanks for effing up my retargeted ads, Coffee. P.S. And withdrawing from Harvard tomorrow. May have stumbled upon the greatest opportunity for era. Okay. Of course, dude. Caleb Maddox. New case study: the 3 secrets we used to get 3,800 high-ticket clients in 90 days. Dude, just get out of this industry, man. This is not the place. Like, right? Like, are you really helping people? Or are you just kind of rent seeking off of people who want to be successful, and you're rent seeking and pretending like you have the answers? I don't know. That kind of pisses me off. All right, last theme. Interesting advert I got on the local newspaper website. Oh. All-time meme, dude. I think this is one of the great CoffeeZilla memes of all time. I don't know if anyone's gonna top them. This is my bookies make Brian one. Okay, we've already talked about this. This is fake. Stop. You can just pump these up. Guys, he literally has no chance of winning. Don't buy into it. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Guys, next week, got an important new competition for you. I realize that what you guys on the competition list are really good at is making memes. It's doing that. So that's what we're going to do a competition on. Highest upvoted meme. It's not one flag, but also the legendary seal of approval. 2 very coveted awards, and you win them if you're the highest upvoted meme by the end of the week. The competition begins right now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw the title. I was going to do some long intro, but screw it. OnlyFans fake gurus are here, and it's way worse than you think. Now, before we get started, let me just say, I found out about this because somebody that I was following said, buy my course industry has peaked. Immediately, I got curious. I see this thing. This person said their OnlyFans course is 50% off. I say, what's this OnlyFans stuff? My mom's watching, and you know, I don't get much internet signal where I'm at, so I don't know what's going on in the world. I think it's some subscription service to like a backstage pass thing, like for concerts.
I'm going to be posting my
I was wrong. What are you kids doing these days? Okay. These people, it's like Patreon for basically adult content. And don't worry, it's going to be a very clean video, guys. Clean stuff here. But it's YouTube, baby. I follow all the rules. Clean channel, monetized channel. But the crazy thing is, and what shocked me, is that millions of dollars. I don't know how any of this works.
I think we're all like the main people on OnlyFans are roughly earning the same. I think at the moment it's like $1 million a month.
And this person says, so everyone can learn how to pay their bills as content creators. Okay? Big red flag number 1. The fake gurus, something I've noticed actually, the fake gurus always start coming. All the course sellers, they all start coming when the opportunity is no longer that good, ironically. Like when you saw Amazon Kindle Publishing, it happens in every industry. Amazon Kindle Publishing used to be good, then it kind of got a lot harder, more saturated, and that's when you see everyone saying it's so easy to make money. Same with Amazon third-party selling. It got a lot harder, that's when you see all the courses are coming out saying it's so easy. Anytime you see a course come out about something, saying it's a great opportunity, newsflash, it was a great opportunity 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So I see this and immediately I'm suspicious, but let's watch it together because this is just, we have to talk about it. It's incredible. I mean, what is going on here? The fake gurus have invaded everything.
Hey guys, I'm Emma and I'm a top 1% creator on OnlyFans. I've helped you just like
Where did you find this rented little house here?
you make versatile income on OnlyFans without even getting paid.
You might be wondering how I've done that. So I built a lot of that
There we go. Now the production value is finally coming in. I was worried.
as a blueprint that helps you build, manage, and grow your OnlyFans, all while working on your own time wherever you want. Showing out
Lambo!
for the
Stacks of cash! Yes. Okay. Good. This is Jack. I mean, literally, you just can apply it to any industry. Clearly, you can apply it to any industry.
process of creating one. This program is free.
I've given you all the secret tips and tricks other creators don't want you to know you need in order to be a successful content creator.
So you go to the site, and the first thing you see is how to make $500 a day on OnlyFans without ever getting naked pay. Here's a sneak piece of how this course will help you get there. $79, already 226 reviews. Can I see any of them? Oh, no. I can't. 3 big myths. I need to have a big following. And you probably do. I need to get nude. I need to look like an Insta model. Listen, guys, I'm no expert. Okay? I didn't know what this site was 3 minutes ago. But quite frankly, if it is what I think it is, I'm pretty sure all of those are rules. Actually, quite frankly. But here's what's insulting, guys. Here's what really pissed me off and made me need to do this. So it's all the classic, Russell Brunson ClickFunnels stuff, right? It even is ClickFunnels. Classic stuff. Oh, testimonials. These are real people. Real testimonials. Right. Then you see peek inside the program. And I was obviously curious because I'm thinking about starting my career as a feet model, actually. I was thinking of some big picture. And you see this. Introduction. 2 minutes long. What? How does OnlyFans work? 1 minute long. This course has nothing in it. It's all obvious stuff. Should you become an OnlyFans creator? Let me guess, you're gonna say yes. Benefits, money. How long does it take? Like 3 seconds to sign up. Snap a few pics of my feet, and then I'm in. So you go through this thing. I was going through the curriculum, and there's nothing in here. This person is just literally selling, saying it's an opportunity, great opportunity, $500 a day. You're literally selling nude pictures online. How hard is that? It's not. So she has nothing on there. Build your profile. It's like a setup tutorial page. Designing your profile, starting your profile bio, fine-tune your bio. You're paying $79 for this. Establishing a subscription rate, content creation. Like, this is so obvious. And then you get to the last part, which should be the most advanced, and it's like, hey, maybe you should focus on new subscribers and content right. These people have no shame. They're like, yeah, I'll just charge you for nothing. Build a link tree. Hey, that's a good idea. You know what that is? A link tree just has a bunch of links. It's like you set it up in 3 seconds. Expand your services, which I guess is like going from a foot model to a hand model. Oh, it's so dumb. Somebody just read Expert Secrets for the first time and decided they need to get it in on OnlyFans. It's insane. Like, there's nothing in here. I was honestly thinking about buying it for a meme, but there's nothing. I mean, even the final courses are like 3 minutes long. I think the whole course is like an hour long of filler content about basically how to set up a profile for $79. And the crazy thing is I bet this is going to make a ton of money. And you look in here and you go, oh, refund policy. Absolutely no refunds given. Absolutely no exceptions. Okay. Or even more reason not to get this. And then you go to the bottom. It says disclaimer: no earnings projections, promises, or representations. Excuse me? What does this say? How to make $500 a day? So obviously, I go to enroll, right? The earnings disclaimer, there is none. Like, these aren't hyperlinks. These are just like somebody put it in as text. It's the laziest course I've ever seen created ever, and it's probably going to make tons of money. And then here, after saying that, oh, actually, there are no refunds, it says unconditional money-back guarantee. Well, which is it? Is it a money-back guarantee? Well, let's check the privacy policy. Up, terms and conditions up. This is so bad. This is the worst thing I think I've ever seen, especially when you consider all these articles are coming out right now that this space is so saturated. Like, according to the New York Times, they went from 120,000 content creators in 2019 to more than 1 million in 2020. So literally, you 10x'd your competition. And this chick is saying, oh, it's so easy to do, so easy to run. Like, what are you talking about? You have 10 times the competition. And she's not even teaching you anything. Listen, there are no tricks. You gotta just be famous and hot, probably, would be my guess. Wow, I'm honestly in disbelief. And I checked their quote tweets. And they said, what are people saying about this? And they're saying, not gonna lie, I love this generation of content creation. Signing up for my first course in 2020, like, most of them are positive. People are taking this ridiculous course, which has nothing in it. I mean, literally, it's like how to sign up. Oh, that's the end of the course. Want to read the terms and conditions? No refunds. How to make $500 a day? Not an earnings claim. I don't know. It's driving me crazy. I literally swear. I don't understand the people who spend money on this stuff. I mean, it's like, have we not learned? Just, if you see a ClickFunnels, anything, just go. Get out, dude. It's not. That's basically it. I wanted to show you guys this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I mean, would you pay for something like this? Do you think there's any market for anything like this? What do you think? Are you like me? Are you a boomer who doesn't know anything about this world? That's it. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But I thought we'd fake Guru Friday this girl because it needs to happen. People can't be this shameless. It's really terrible. Anyways, yeah, that's basically all for now. What we're even covering anymore. Listen, these gurus, I just follow the gurus. That's it. That's it. Okay. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see you on Saturday.
Just let me know.
all the species to have ever lived, all but a tiny fraction have gone extinct. At some point in the future, the same fate will befall humanity. It may take centuries, it might take eons, but extinction is unavoidable. The future is fraught with uncertainty, and the apocalypse never seems too far away. Nearly 800,000 years ago, an approximately 1 kilometer wide asteroid collided with Earth. The crater has yet to be located, but fragments from the impact have been found scattered across the eastern hemisphere, an expansive strewn field that covers up to 30% of the planet's surface. Our distant ancestors were not only alive to witness this event, but managed to adapt and survive. Impacts of this magnitude occur roughly once every 500,000 to 2 million years. More devastating impacts, like the one that nearly wiped out the dinosaurs, are far less frequent, possibly striking once every 100 million years. Whether a collision of this magnitude is survivable is a matter of debate. The kinetic energy released upon impact would be equivalent to the simultaneous detonation of billions of atomic bombs. Those who survived the initial blast would be subjected to unrelenting earthquakes, firestorms, and tsunamis. A thick layer of smoke and dust would quickly envelop the globe and blot out the sun. An impact winter that could last for months or even years. Darkness, freezing cold, and global famine would throw the world into chaos. In spite of this, long-term survival is not inconceivable. Small pockets of humanity may take refuge underground and would at least be given a chance to rebuild civilization. But make no mistake, it would be a close call. The survivability of an impact also depends on how much time we have to prepare. More than 90% of nearby asteroids and comets larger than 1 kilometer have already been detected. If one of them were on a collision course with Earth, we'd know for decades or even centuries in advance. But this was not always the case. In 1983, a 9-kilometer wide comet was only spotted 2 weeks prior to its closest approach. That's 2 weeks of preparation had it been aiming for Earth. While things have significantly improved since 1983, space is impossibly vast. In 2019, an asteroid capable of leveling a city was detected a day before it flew 5 times closer to the Earth than the Moon. While the odds of an extinction-level collision are remote, it's not impossible. There is a class of objects known as damocloids. Damocloids are typified by their highly eccentric orbits and low reflectivity, meaning they periodically pay us a visit and are extremely difficult to detect. We're currently tracking about 200, but there could be hundreds more tumbling through the solar system. Damocloids are, on average, 16 kilometers wide. If one of them were on a collision course with Earth, there might not be any warning. When massive stars die, they explode. If a star went supernova within 30 light years of Earth, it would be cause for concern. Fortunately, more than 90% of the stars within this bubble have already been discovered, none of which are at risk of exploding anytime soon. But some supernovae can still pose a threat from thousands of light years away. It's a gamma ray burst, produced by only the most violent explosions in the universe. Instead of a spherical blast, a gamma ray burst will channel the explosion into two highly concentrated beams. More energy is released in a few seconds than the sun will radiate in its entire lifetime. The biological effects of a nearby supernova or gamma ray burst are poorly understood. We do know that the atmosphere would absorb much of the high-energy radiation, but this may also strip the Earth of its protective layer of ozone. If so, harmful levels of ultraviolet radiation from the sun would penetrate down to the surface. Certain chemical reactions may also darken the sky and induce global cooling, a cosmic winter of sorts. This could last for years and would be lethal to many plants and animals. In fact, a gamma ray burst might be responsible for a mass extinction that killed roughly 70% of all marine species nearly 500 million years ago. Now, humanity could easily protect itself against ultraviolet sun rays, but living through a mass extinction would not be a pleasant experience. While some authors have painted a far bleaker image, with one hemisphere effectively sterilized by intense radiation, these findings have been contested in recent years. The latest research identifies ozone depletion as the primary threat. Nevertheless, a gamma ray burst sniping the Earth from across the galaxy is extremely improbable. All of them have so far been extragalactic in origin, much too distant to pose a threat. While there are a few potential candidates within the Milky Way, none of them appear to be directed at Earth. Apart from impact events and stellar explosions, the foreseeable future is free of cosmic threats. Other eventualities are either too improbable or won't happen for millions of years. Ample time for us to prepare, other calamities permitting. Around 74,000 years ago, a large volcano erupted in Southeast Asia. It is the most powerful volcanic eruption in human history. For up to 2 weeks, it spewed enormous quantities of ash and dust into the atmosphere, enough to block out the sun and potentially cool the planet. A volcanic winter. But there's great uncertainty about the effects of the eruption on both the climate and humanity. It ranges from severe to mild, with the latest research supporting the latter. In either case, this is good news. It means that supervolcanic eruptions pose little to no threat to human existence. After all, if early humans stood a chance, then so should we. But there is something even more destructive than supervolcanic eruptions. It's known as a flood basalt event. The largest one occurred 250 million years ago. An enormous outpouring of molten rock covered a region of Siberia the size of Europe. And it just so happens to coincide with the deadliest mass extinction in history. The good news is, flood basalt events are both rare and slow. Instead of a singular event, it's a series of eruptions taking place over thousands or even millions of years. As such, even if one began tomorrow, it might just be slow enough for us to adapt and survive. Throughout the centuries, pandemics have exacted a heavy toll on humankind. Among the worst was the Black Death. In less than a decade, it killed between 25 and 60% of the European population. The total death count is unknown, at least tens of millions. The Colombian exchange of diseases and the Spanish flu claimed the lives of many millions more. The tragedy of these pandemics and epidemics notwithstanding, they never came close to extinction. None of them killed more than a few percent of the global population. For instance, the Spanish flu infected nearly 1/3 of humanity, yet the vast majority of cases did not result in death. A pathogen that not only infects but also kills every single member of a species is difficult to imagine. In fact, there are very few examples of infectious disease driving a species to extinction. With that being said, it's not inconceivable. For instance, pathogens that can pass between multiple species can be far deadlier than those limited to just one. The H5N1 avian influenza, also known as the bird flu, is one such virus. So far, it's transmissible between humans and birds, but it can sustainably spread among humans. However, laboratory experiments have shown that it may eventually acquire this ability through natural mutations. If so, it could easily become the worst pandemic in human history. But even this horrifying proposition does not come close to extinction. In a worst-case scenario, most of humanity would still survive. Pandemics are complicated. It's a topic that's more relevant now than ever before and cannot possibly be done justice in a few short minutes. But in a narrow context of human extinction, it seems unlikely for nature to stumble upon that perfect storm. Apart from volcanic eruptions and natural pandemics, the Earth has no inherent means of eradicating the human race. No other form of natural calamity is powerful enough to threaten our existence. As such, the most immediate threat to humanity has for a long time been, and continues to be, humanity. While nature may struggle to devise a world-ending pandemic, it may not have to. Biotechnology is now advanced to a point where we can engineer pathogens in a laboratory. While this can greatly benefit our understanding and treatment of infectious diseases, it's not without risk. Accidental breaches of containment have happened on multiple occasions, and these experiments are not always conducted in the name of science. These engineered microbes are concerning because their destructive potential far exceeds that of their natural counterparts. They can be deadlier, more transmissible, and less treatable. And the rapid pace of technological progress is constantly lowering the threshold for bioengineering.
Concern was, he said it in so many words, that a small group of dedicated scientists could create an altered biological agent that could wipe out humanity as we know it. Technically speaking, you can do almost anything with a microbe. The real question is, would you end up with a microbe that functionally will do the things that the concerned person at your hearing said, namely, essentially wipe out everyone from the face of the earth? Again, that's conceivable, although it's inconceivable, but it is in fact, anything is possible. It would be very, very difficult to do that, extraordinary difficult, even in the best of hands, to not only do the engineering to get a microbe that has the characteristics, but be able to spread in a way in which it has virulence, transmissibility, and the ability to go in a sustained, transmissible way. Not impossible, but very, very difficult.
A nuclear holocaust is among the most infamous doomsday scenarios. Since the end of World War II, we have on numerous occasions been driven to the brink of nuclear conflict, sometimes by accident, sometimes by very intentional brinkmanship. The nuclear stockpile currently stands at over 13,000 warheads, the vast majority of which are owned by Russia and the United States. In the event of an all-out nuclear war, these thousands of bombs could instantly vaporize hundreds of millions. But the explosions are only the beginning. The real danger of a nuclear conflict is the aftermath. Much like an impact event or supervolcanic eruption, a thick layer of smoke and dust would quickly envelop the globe. A nuclear winter that not only blots out the sun, but showers the world in radioactive fallout. Firestorms, radiation poisoning, and mass starvation could easily claim the lives of billions. However, the because humanity is not evenly distributed across the planet, some regions will be less affected than others. Island nations like New Zealand, for instance, are almost certain to survive. While the effects of a nuclear holocaust are almost too dismal to contemplate, it is not typically regarded as an existential threat. Artificial intelligence has had a profound impact on modern society, from self-driving cars and virtual assistants to social media algorithms and facial recognition. But some experts are concerned about the future, a future in which intelligent machines become more intelligent than humans. The concern is not so much about evil robots as it is about misalignment. A misaligned intelligence is one that's not properly aligned with human goals and values, a system that becomes dangerous not due to any malicious intent, but due to an oversight in its programming, an unforeseen loophole that allows it to do things it was never intended to do. If such an entity was sufficiently intelligent, it could become unstoppable. Another concern is known as the intelligence explosion. It's a machine that can upgrade itself and thereby increase its own intelligence at an exponential rate. Moments after creating such a system, it could far surpass the combined intelligence of all humans that have ever lived. Such an entity may have little to no regard for human affairs, not unlike humanity's disregard for species less intelligent. With that being said, these concerns are far from universal. In 2016, a survey of more than 300 machine learning experts was conducted. On average, they gave a 50% chance of an artificial intelligence surpassing all human abilities by 2061. But as you can see from these faded lines in the background, there's tremendous variation between individual respondents. Some think it will happen in a few years, others believe we're more than a century away. When asked about the impact of this technology, the majority of respondents believed in a positive outcome. Extinction was only given a median probability of 5%. Artificial intelligence is not the only emerging technology with the potential for human extinction, but the problem with assessing their risk is that we have no precedents. We can estimate the likelihood of an asteroid impact by surveying the geologic record and our cosmic neighborhood, but there's no historical context for artificial intelligence or self-replicating nanomachines. When the first nuclear device was detonated in 1945, there was a genuine concern that it would ignite the atmosphere and incinerate all life on the planet. In fact, one of the observers was so taken aback by the enormity of the explosion that for a brief moment, that's precisely what he thought had happened. While this doomsday scenario did not come to pass, it's a cautionary tale. No one really knows what the future will bring. All we can do is proceed with caution and hope for the best. Over the past few decades, species across the plant and animal kingdoms have been disappearing at an alarming pace. Some 10 billion trees are cleared every single year, while animal populations are rapidly declining. Many species are also going extinct. The global rate of extinction is now tens or even hundreds of times greater than before humans conquered the planet. And it's accelerating. Upwards of 1 million species are now threatened with extinction. At the core of this immense loss of biodiversity is overconsumption driven by overpopulation. Humanity is now depleting 3/4 as many resources as the Earth can naturally replenish. meaning we will soon need a second Earth just to break even. From deforestation and defaunation to pollution and climate change, no shocking graph nor depressing slideshow can fully convey the totality of our destruction. Our relationship with nature is so utterly broken that many fear we are now heading for extinction, that this unraveling of nature will be mankind's undoing. While some of the most comprehensive assessments to date do indeed paint a truly dystopian image of the future, none of them forecast total annihilation of the human race. We may turn the planet into a living hell, but a livable hell it would seem. However, some scientists argue that these assessments are severely underestimating the gravity of this crisis, that the sheer magnitude of our destruction is difficult to grasp for even well-informed experts. Some have also voiced their concerns about potential tipping points, a threshold that, once exceeded, may trigger an irreversible decline of ecosystems around the world, a global ecological collapse from which recovery becomes virtually impossible. But it's not all doom and gloom. While the rate of deforestation is alarmingly high, it has been slowing down over the past 3 decades. While the transition has been infuriatingly slow, more and more countries are phasing out fossil fuels in favor of renewable energy sources. So in no way should human extinction, which is the most extreme outcome, be regarded as inevitable. Climate change mitigation and nature conservation efforts are all but certain to prevent that from happening. But at the same time, that's how low we've set it. What surprised me while making this video is just how difficult it is to truly wipe out everyone. Many catastrophes can drive us to the brink of extinction, but all of them struggle to cross the finish line. So that should be somewhat reassuring. Even if humanity was reduced to a few hundred individuals, a full recovery might still be possible. It would undoubtedly take many thousands of years, but recovery would not be out of the question. And the more we expand beyond the confines of Earth, extinction from any singular catastrophe becomes increasingly unlikely. Perhaps the apocalypse won't be dealt by a swift, decisive blow, but instead a gradual, faltering decline. One disaster bleeding into the next until the final embers of humankind silently fade away. Regardless, it won't happen anytime soon. After all, we made it this far. Millions of years of evolution, countless disasters, and humanity still standing. That is perhaps the best reassurance that the world is still gonna be there tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Have we got a show for you today? Today on CoffeeZilla and Webinar Wednesday, I am learning Kung Fu from the secret Death Touch Master. And I'm going and trying it out on a friend of mine. Who will prevail? We're going to find out today. If you guys don't know, hey, first of all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, CoffeeZilla, the Internet Detective in the $10 million studio. But before we get into this, this is Webinar Wednesday, which means we get scammed so you don't have to. We buy these shady products you see all around you and put them to the test. We find out are they fact or fiction. Okay? I mean, you best believe it's going to get weird. It's going to get wild. And yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into this, okay? Today, we're looking at secretdeathtouches.com or .net or something like that.
I killed Bruce Lee. You're about to hear that shocking deathbed confession from a martial arts master assassin. You'll see how he made the Kung Fu legend's brain explode inside his head by using a near mythical Chinese death touch.
A death touch? And who's this guy?
You'll learn the same forbidden technique yourself along with 10 more highly lethal one-touch death moves.
Okay, I told you. Did I not tell you that it's going to be a great show? We're going to learn in this video one-touch death moves. We're going to get scammed by whatever this guy's selling. We will buy it. We will learn the one-touch death moves, and I will be trying them out on a friend of mine.
Now, beware. These techniques will disable, cripple, and even kill any attacker threatening the safety of you or your loved ones. Plus, it's guaranteed to work no matter how old you are, what your physical condition is, or even if the assailant is heavily armed.
Oh, you're going after seniors with the scam. Got it. One-touch death moves, guys. You poke them, and they just fall. They fall to the ground. They completely disable. I mean, what is it going to be? Kick them in the balls? What other death move is there?
Everyone needs these death moves in their arsenal.
Why? What? No, they don't, dude. If you're teaching a class in a school, you don't need a death. Maybe in the U.S., maybe you do need one-touch death move.
And I do mean everyone. Even an old Marine like me.
Of course.
I spent 20 years in the service.
No, you didn't. It's the script. This guy's reading a script. You got hired for $5 off Fiverr, I bet.
But even I was completely unprepared when two men pulled a gun on my grandchildren. I mean, we were in the parking lot of a toy store.
Can you believe that they actually acted this out for a fake story? They had like guys pretend to mug children.
The bigger guy put a 9mm to my head. He told me
The camera crew was there to capture it.
Wouldn't think twice about splattering brains all over the pony if I didn't do what he said. I gave them everything they asked for. My wallet, cell phone, car keys. Those even took the shopping bag filled with a new Lego set that just bought me.
Yeah, this is just to stir up the emotions, guys. You gotta make your viewers scared. Bring them into your emotional situation and say, hey, without death moves, even if you're a 20-year retired Marine, you're in trouble. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. This whole story is starting to sound a little implausible. A bunch of Lego hunting robbers are in the middle of the day going up and holding a gun to your head. In the middle of the day, in broad daylight, and your kids are screaming their head off. That's their strategy? Interesting.
I tried comforting my poor grandkids, who of course were scared out of their wits. Little Daniel even had an accident during the mud, which...
I'm just thinking about how they filmed this. What kind of psychos built this little funnel? This is ridiculous.
My mission brought me to the deathbed of a martial arts master who had honed his craft for more than 70 years. A man who, in his last dying breaths, made a confession to me that will shock the world. I killed Bruce Lee. At first, I didn't believe it. I mean, seriously. But after learning his forbidden one-touch death, it was impossible.
What are we watching? Listen, I swear I have the best job. I really do, guys. This is what I do it for. It's not for dunking on J-Lock. It's not for Ty Lopez. It's for one-touch death moves. Who else? Like, this is like watching Mortal Kombat. But people are trying to pass this off as if it's real. That's what's great about it. Is like, this guy really wants you not only to believe, but buy from him. One-touch death moves from a master assassin who killed Bruce Lee.
Anyone can master these in a matter of days. Even if you can barely walk without a cane, you're 90 years old and you weigh 100 pounds dripping wet. Inside the short pressure...
Okay. Now, this is the stuff, this is where marketers go too far. They're like, hey, you're in your geriatric ward. You can learn this one-touch death move. Gran ain't killing. Let's be real. The only way she's doing it is with a Glock 9. It's not with your martial arts one-touch death move.
Now let's cut right to it. My name is Robert Lawrence.
Okay, I gotta give this guy credit for it. So far I've been roasting him. He can really deliver the serious thing. He's really got like this serious face. Let's get right to it.
And when I offered to take them out for ice cream or to go back to the toy store, they threw fits because they were too afraid. They just didn't feel safe with Grandpa anymore.
Okay, come on, dude. Come on. Old Grandpa didn't get to see his grandbabies anymore because he hadn't learned the one-touch death moves yet. Basically, he finds out about these one-touch death moves and goes on a search for who can teach them to him.
But then I got a bizarre email that would ultimately change everything.
That's how it always is. It's always a bizarre email.
The subject line simply said "the way," and the email was from China. Inside, there was
A little bit racist, but okay.
only one
You know it's credible because it's from China. You know those Chinese guys.
short paragraph, but what it said made my heart race. You want to know the way of the death touch? I have been waiting for this question my whole life, but you will need to come to China.
Okay, so he goes to China. He learns of this old man who's on his deathbed. Okay?
Even though they were so effortless, Lee claimed each one would allow me to disable any attacker in a matter of seconds. This, he said, was extremely important, because if I wanted to simply knock a person to his knees, all it would take was a flick.
Oh, okay. Let's get to the point here, guys. People, you guys don't care about this. You don't care about Lee. You want to know. I mean, so, I bought it. Ladies and gentlemen, when you buy this thing, you get two things. You get a PDF, a little inspirational booklet that I guess shares the moves with you, and then you get a video that is visual demonstration of the moves. Now, the book is amazing and hilarious. I'm going to share a very small portion, preview with you for a second here. Really, it's like a fictional story of somebody using this, okay? So basically, our little hero in our story, he had been training on this dummy, and one of his friends comes up to him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, you've just been poking in a stuffed dummy. You don't know martial arts." "That's fine," I said dismissively, because Lee was fine. "No," said Greg, getting angry. "You need to prove these techniques actually work." I hesitated. Maybe he was right. Maybe I needed to test them out. "Okay, big guy, you come at me with your best move." Apparently, Greg was like an actual fighter, buff, whatever. "You come at me with your best move, and we'll see who comes out on top." "You got it, Twerk. But I'm warning you now," he said. "I'm going to knock your block off." Greg stood back and stretched his thick muscles as he prepared to attack me. I visualized the pressure points of his body, just as I had done with the stuffed dummy back in China. I assumed my stance, and so did Greg. Then I nodded. Greg came at me with the long steps, with his arms waving in the air. I breathed and relaxed, as Master Lee had told me to. And then we go to full sci-fi. Time seemed to slow down. I could see how inefficient Greg's movements were. All the energy poured into them accomplished nothing. I could see the exact spot on his body that I would attack. He swung his body in a lumbering roundhouse kick, but before it connected, I reached out with a single tiger strike to his abdomen and barely touched him. At first, I thought I missed the target. I dumped it. Greg gave a jolt and howled a gurgling cry of pain. Spontaneously, he vomited all over my garage floor and collapsed into it there and lay there unmoving. "Call an ambulance," I replied. "I think I may have killed him." Okay, that's what we're dealing with. That's part one. Okay, part two, let's learn what these secret. Look, we've heard all about the death touch moves, but what are the death touch moves?
Hi, I'm Brad Potts. Today we're going to be working on some self-defense. I myself.
What's this about? Self-defense moves. Where's the death touch moves?
Okay, so the first technique we're going to be addressing today is the one-touch disabling technique.
It's called a death move, Gary. What's your name? Oh, Brad. Brad, it's definitely not called a disabling move. It's called a death move. Please get that right.
Well, the first thing we're going to do is make a fist with a projected index finger. Like
you're going to break your finger.
So then we're going to use this punch in the sensitive areas of your would-be attacker. For example, the eyes, the sternum, the solar plexus.
What is this?
Your opponent is effectively disabling them by steering.
Yeah, if you get it wind up like that, Brad. If you guys going to just stand there, you can just poke them in the eye, sure.
The second technique is the jaw attack, where the hand is thrust into the
Dude, you mean just choking somebody? You can't be Brandon doing that. Dude, you have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger for that to work, really lift them up.
This is a punch to the solar plexus. This painful technique is extremely effective in that it can cause gastrointestinal distress.
You're going from a one-touch death to gastrointestinal distress. The bait switch of a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get to a death touch move, please? Oh, here we go. This looks good.
She is the good old heel to the balls.
You mean kicking the balls? It's an ancient Chinese secret, guys, from the Far East. Master Lee told it to us. No one ever heard of it.
Now, if you're being frontally attacked, particularly ladies.
Look at this poor man. Look at his face. He's just praying that foot doesn't go any farther. You can see him flinch a little bit.
Good thing to strike.
Oh, he's like really trying not to move there.
Heel. And this is done in a snapping up motion, sending the testicles far into the intestinal tract.
Sending the testicles far. Oh, part of the intestinal tract. Okay, what else do we have? Let's go.
And striking vigorously into the attitude.
Oh, okay. Let's just get through this thing, huh? What is this?
Extremely effective.
None of these moves are extremely effective. Let me promise you that. No one's going to be sitting there. What is this? What have you done to this man, Brad Potts?
This is wrong. This can cause renal shutdown, renal bleeding.
Brad, how did you get behind your would-be attacker?
Good technique if, for whatever reason, your opponent exposes his back to you.
Even Brad doesn't believe this is likely. Look at his face right now. Look, he's going to try to say this with a straight face. And he's like, what am I teaching right now? I guess if the Lego toy sets on the line, this is justified.
The next technique we're going to be discussing is if your attacker comes in with a knife. The first thing you want to do is block the knife. Block it with a hook.
Oh, God. The worst thing you can do is tell people to fight somebody with a knife. You're going to get killed.
Part of your form.
This is actually dangerous advice. This is do not fight with a knife. Anyone who does actual real martial arts, please actually, please comment in the description. I mean, like, seriously, this is ridiculous. Okay, so we didn't find our death move anywhere with Brad. Brad is completely useless to us. Never do anything this man said. But I did find our death touch move somewhere deep within our fictional story here. Apparently, it's called the snake bite. By far the most deadly move in all of Denmark. And by far the most secret. It's so simple and deadly, it's only taught to Denmark masters. But luckily, we're going to learn it today, ladies and gentlemen. The reason it's called the snake bite, ladies and gentlemen, is because you make a shadow puppet. And you strike them in the temple. And this brings me to a little secret about me, guys, you don't know about. A little personal anecdote for you. You see, ladies and gentlemen, when I was a young buck, I actually took Kung Fu. I know it might seem like I'm joking, but this is my green belt from those days. You see that? Not really coming through on the screen for some reason. Why is the green belt not coming through? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, this is real. When I was 14, I learned the art of Kung Fu. The people who taught me actually learned it for real. But my point is that there it goes. I should be qualified to use this move. I mean, I don't think that this is going to be user error because technically I trained in the art of Kung Fu, so I should be ready to snake bite someone. So I decided what better person to challenge this on, not just a random person down the street. I got my friend James, who's an actual jiu-jitsu roller, I don't know what you guys call yourselves, jiu-jitsu practitioner for years, and I'm going to absolutely destroy him with the new death touches that I learned. So come with me. We're going outside of the studio for the first time ever, I think, and we're going to go take our lessons on the street. I hope you enjoy what happens next. I think it's going to work. I think I'm going to hurt him. I'm happy about it because he's had this coming for a long time. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, it's sorry. I'm not so sure about these death moves, guys. But I'm back in my studio. It's nighttime now. It's late, obviously. It's been a long day. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a laugh. Don't do these ridiculous, death touch things. Look, martial arts are great. But they're great if you actually apply them. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. This is an entertaining one for me. And let me know who you want to see me take next. Take seriously. Who's going to take next? I mean, we've been through the ringer so far. Tai Lopez death touches. Tell me what's next on the docket in the comment below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. In a world where scammers run amok, one internet detective is ready to call all of them out. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I am your seafood, Puppies Hello. And welcome to Fake Guru Fridays, guys. That's right. Each day has a theme, and we're bringing back Fake Guru Fridays. It's one of my favorite days, and I don't know, we just kind of lost it in the mix, so we're bringing it back. And today we're answering an age-old question, which is, pyramid schemes are often pitched to people who don't have much financial know-how. They're pitch to lower income communities who just don't know better, who are desperate. You get the idea. It's nothing on them. It's just this predatory tactic. But what happens when you try to pitch to real investors? A pyramid scheme. An insane idea. What do you do? What do real investors do when they're pitched insane ideas? Well, the result is incredible. But for this, we're going to have to go to the computer. So let's go. Wow, look, nice graphics, fancy graphics. Paid a lot of money for that. I hope you guys appreciate it. $10 million. Very legitimate. So, see, look, some people say it's a green screen. It can't be a green screen. I'm wearing green right now, so that's possible. Anyways, let's get this started, shall we? Okay. Oh, not the right page. Back that out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a man trying to hide behind a white presentation, and he's about to get destroyed. Let me set this up. Let me set the stage. So this is Dragon's Den. It's like Shark Tank, if you know what you do guys. Basically, people come on, they pitch their investment ideas to professional investors who have run real businesses. I'm not saying those investors are perfect because we've talked about some of their shady business dealings, but in this case, justice is about to be served. Real nice.
Hello, Dragons. My name is Andy Diakis, and I'm from Brampton, Ontario. I stand humbly before you today to offer you a historical business opportunity.
Already off to a bad start. Why the big breath? Okay.
What are you offering? I'm looking for $175,000 of your hard-earned dollars, which works out to $35,000 per dragon, as I would like all 5 of you on board.
What do we get? How much for the company?
If you could please let me finish my pitch, I will lead up to it. I have important information. It's not a product that I'm selling.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
This guy, the balls on this guy already. How do you go? They're investing in you. You don't go, hey, sir, please shut up. I'll take questions at the end of this presentation.
You're so nice, Erling. Would like all 5 of you on board. In exchange, you will get a business package within a rapidly growing company. This business package will be responsible in the near future for bringing you huge returns.
That's the face that I'm giving right now. Buzzword, 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 business package, buzzword, buzzword will give huge returns, buzzword in the next earnings quarter. Where's the talk about equity? What are your sales? What's the real business?
This is going to reward you with a lot of money in the future. Instead of all these reward points cards with clutter and restriction, with one card, Lioness guarantees you cash back into your bank account after your routine purchases.
How much? What percentage?
It can vary. It can go from 20 to 40%.
Wait a second. I go buy something, I get 20% of
Yeah, that doesn't happen. That's not real.
the purchase value in cash?
Yes, sir.
That ain't gonna happen.
You gotta explain that further. Because that's absolutely, absolutely. Keep going. So thank you, sir.
You should be sweating.
Dude, do you guys see this? Do you guys see the sweat on this man's brow here? This is why the name Shark Tank is actually a lot better than Dragon's Den. Because dragons, sharks smell blood in the water, they pounce, and they're about to rip this guy to shreds. Poor man. I feel bad for him because I don't even think he's at the top of this thing.
The way it works is that the shoppers sign up and register for free, and excuse me, I'm just so nervous.
I know this is gonna end badly for you. I want you to know that.
Kevin, I want you to.
Can we make that a meme in our community? As soon as we can catch the red flags, it's like, I know this is going to end badly for you. I want you to know that.
I know this is gonna end badly for you. I want you to know that.
Kevin, I want you to let this poor man get his picture.
Very badly.
Probably not gonna know how to get 20% off everything.
Well, we're gonna get it.
You know what? I see these things a lot where like the hosts are not sweating at all, and then the other guy is the whole time is sweating profusely. I think it's a trick of the lights. I think they put the hot lights on the guy, and then they have like cool fans on the hosts, because nobody normally sweats this much. And you'll see in the next clip too. This isn't just this guy. all the people pitching, they're like sweating profusely, and I don't think it's just nerves. Which, by the way, is genius on the producer part. That's true.
The shoppers register for free, and Lioness partners up with retailers to take a sales commission of the sales they generate.
I don't even think this guy knows what his company does. I don't think he's the owner of it. He doesn't sound like he isn't confident in what his own company does. This is what all the MLMers do. You ask them what their company does, they're like, well, we have a distribution chain of logistics. If you get to the right tier and you get the override, it's going to go ahead and get you rich. They don't understand this.
You're a retailer, depending on the profit margin, just like a commission-based salesman in a company.
I get it.
I don't get it.
I get it.
I don't get it.
I'm gonna try and explain to you in a simple term.
If I could help, you sign us up, and then the deal is we should go sign up other people, right?
Absolutely.
And they sign up other people.
Isn't that a pyramid scheme? We're 8 years old. It's in Europe, and
You're dead. Stop. Don't hurt yourself, bud.
and a pyramid scheme falls apart at the bottom, correct? Because every time you move to the top, the supporters from this is the shoppers, which register for free.
Right.
And they're motivated to go use their cards at all the retailers.
I don't make any money if someone signs up underneath me.
Yes, you do.
I do.
Absolutely.
That's why it's a pyramid scheme.
It's not a pyramid.
Large foot circling above your head.
This whole thing is just a roast. I mean, this should, honestly, this is legal right here. This is manslaughter right now. This poor man is getting obliterated.
What's it cost to go to business partner?
The one that I bought is $10,000, and that's to start in Canada alone.
And you know what? $10,000? That's ridiculous. What? I've seen MLMs for like $500. 10 grand. This poor man, he hasn't made it like that. This guy's a lowly peon. I guarantee it. He acts like it.
What's your return on your money have you got now?
So far, I'm on my way zero because I've been very busy.
How many years ago did you give the 10,000?
It's like that sweating meme. It's just profusely. I feel bad for this guy at this point. Now, at this point, knowing what I know, he's getting scammed and he's being humiliated all at the same time. So it is funny because he's trying to scam other people, but he also is being scammed himself. That's what you find out in some of these things. It's like you're getting scammed, but you're also scamming other people. Yeah.
Basically, it was in steps. The last payment I made was about 3 months ago, where I poured money against my house.
No. Why would you do that? Don't ever borrow money against your house. This isn't even a scam thing. This poor man has been hoodwinked and bamboozled. He went into the most aggressive entrepreneur show to try to pitch the very idea that he got scammed into to try to scam those people. And this is basically. I gotta perfect that place. I gotta get on one of these Shark Tanks sometime soon. Because I guarantee you, actually, no cap, as the kids say, I'd be a great shark. I'd sniff out all these con artists, liars, etc. I wouldn't let any of them through. And this is the case of
Because the returns overpower any percentage that I have.
Returns coming.
The returns are.
When you give him $35,000.
Wait a second. Why would an investor give $10,000 to somebody and never get a return?
He's down. Stop kicking this man while he's down.
You're gonna get a return. You're guaranteed your return as soon as you find your 4 directs.
Oh, bada boom.
Ah, it's so painful. Oh, we're starting off Fake Guru Friday, right, boys? Hairless Sweaty Man is not the guru. It's the structure, the multi-level marketing structure. But I'm going to do it anyway. It's my show. So I guess this is Fake Guru Friday. Lioness is the name of the scam. You will wonder, I don't know if I told you guys that. Yeah, little give back scam.
Where'd you buy this from? My ex-wife in Europe. Honestly. Oh.
How much has she made?
It's hard to say because it's in Hungarian forints.
Poor man's life is falling apart, and Kevin Hiller's like,
honestly.
the odds of you getting money from the dragons is pretty low.
Why is that?
Have
It's a straightforward business. I mean,
Andy,
here's the way it works. Just simply.
losing us.
Line us up here. Okay? Here's me, and here's the 5 dragons under me.
There's a big foot above you, about to squash you. Why? But it's a really stupid idea.
Just hold on a minute, try to balance it for me so that it's you.
Yes. Here's Linus, here's me,
Yeah.
and here comes the 5 dragons
Yeah.
underneath me.
Underneath, got it.
And they start to build.
And they each pay me $37,000 for the privilege of joining a pyramid scheme. Yeah, that's gonna work.
Their network
Yeah.
bigger because everybody that you bring in, they're gonna bring in.
So I start here,
Yes.
and then I get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. What did I just make, Andy?
We could buy this nasty P word, the pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Ah! So we start here. Oops. Uh-huh. And he's like, yeah, yeah. What did I make, Andy? Oh, this poor man. You gotta feel bad. You do.
It's illegal.
My friend, this is not something that I would ever invest in, and neither should you have. You have, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a pyramid or not.
It is.
My reaction is,
In my looking at you, Lioness lawyers, in my opinion, okay? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That's why he said that actually. He's literally saying
I'm not comfortable selling this to any of my friends, well, business associates. So I'm out.
Eddie, I don't think you should take any more money and invest it in this. It might not be a good idea. I know.
Absolutely no way would I put money into this. This stuff is distasteful. I'm out.
That's a good one. Distasteful. So, all right, finish this up.
It doesn't impress me. I'm not impressed by the
Got this guy.
way it's operating as well. So, for that reason, I'm out. Thank you. They'll take that with you.
You guys will see. You'll all see. When I'm worth $100 million and I've sold gift cards and credit card gift backs to everybody in the entire world, you'll see. But boom! Now, if you're like me and you just saw that guy get eviscerated on national television, I'd stay away. If you're one of these pyramid scheme guys. But no. The thing with pyramid scheme people, and this is the truth, this is honest, they believe it. Like, deep down to the core, they've been indoctrinated that this pyramid scheme is going to change the world. So they don't see like what everyone else sees, and you're about to see that. Oh. This is already off to a bad start when you look like you're about to try to revive Frankenstein with your little science experiment in the 3rd grade. This is not going to go well. There's nothing sexy about what I'm seeing right now.
Hello, Dragons. My name is Paul Lobo. This is Barry Ritchie.
Okay.
Our company is Air Oasis Limited. The purpose of us being here is we want £125,000 of your money, and in return, we give you 10% equity in our company. Our product produces water out of air, and Barry's now going to give you a brief.
So it's a dehumidifier, like the thing that exists already?
Ambitious plans for market penetration. Barry Ritchie and Paul Lobo's pitch for £125,000 of investment in their company Air Oasis certainly hasn't lacked confidence. But what's behind their confident claims? Theo Papitis wants to know.
Barry, Paul, I'm Theo. That's right. 7p a litre. Yes. Sounds cheap when you compare it with bottled water. Yes. But it's not cheap when you compare it to just filter. Because there's units like that that just filter. That's right. Oh, that question. Yeah. The difference is these don't need a water supply. So they're very good in humid countries without question where you can't get water to a unit. Most definitely. So the UK market is not actually going to be a very good market for this. Well, I think it's actually. There's a lot of people that are interested in reducing their cost.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I can already tell who this salesman is, the guy talking right now, not this guy talking. He's the salesman who everything always fits his promise. Like, you come into the store, and he's like, oh, do you need a mattress? And you're like, oh, no, I already have a bed. He goes, no, mattresses are great for people who already have beds. And you're like, no, I just automatically get actually, this mattress is great for people who just bought a mattress yesterday. You're like, no, this doesn't fit what I need right now.
What does it cost you to buy this?
They're coming into me.
Oh. The sweat begins again. I'm telling you, they have heaters on these people so that they sweat during the presentation. I know it. This is not a normal amount of human sweat.
Barry and Paul are confident of healthy margins, but Duncan Valentine thinks he's spotted a flaw in their plans.
Whichever the labor response, something you said, what you're going to do is educate the public. You have to explain how you're going to educate the public, and you're not going to educate the public. The public is going to continue using tap water, or drinking bottled water.
Yep, Duncan, as soon as you do this test, it's very visual.
Or
Really, that
or,
is the education.
or you can't travel around the country knocking at people's doors.
Look at how arrogant this hand raise is. I've never seen something worse than this. I would never invest in somebody who has this face on. This is the smuggest face I've ever seen. And I know it's London or the UK, but this is pretty bad, even for you.
Knocking at people's doors, going in with 2 glasses of water and saying to people, look at the difference, buy one of these machines. You can't do that. You can't educate the public.
We've just got 100 kits with little cases. This is like the Kirby vacuum cleaner. This is the bugs on the bed, under the microscope. We've got 300 people signed up already to go out door to door and commission part-time
Barry, the point I'm making isn't that you can't go around knocking on doors. The point I'm making is you can't afford to go around knocking on doors. But
Oh, really? Hold on. Let me make this more accurate. Water here. Oh, really? Really? I can't do it. Really? Huh?
there's enough money to go knocking on doors and saying to people, look, what do you like to come in and show you these 2 glasses of water and show you the difference, and then you can buy my machine for 500 quid.
Okay, but there is, because it doesn't cost them. We bought all the kits. The people are taking on a part-time commission-only basis. They get £100 a sale. They do 3 in a week. They get 150 per sale. It's good old-fashioned pyramid, multi-level direct marketing.
Wow. You know, you see, he got himself. It's good old-fashioned pyramid scheme. Multi-level marketing.
3 in a week. It's good old-fashioned pyramid, multi-level direct marketing.
Did you see? He went through. Oh gosh, I have to explain something for you guys to fully get the context of this. Pyramid. It used to be called pyramid selling. Then they rebranded it after everyone realized that was a scam to multi-level marketing. Everyone realized that was a scam, so they renamed it to direct selling. This guy has been in the game so long that he goes through fluently all 3 words for it seamlessly. Oh, this is incredible.
Surprise, surprise.
I had to ask Barry, you run the risk of talking yourself back down those stairs without an investment. The reason I asked if you've been a Kirby selling person is that I could have told you were, because actually what you used to do is stand in people's rooms, bombard them and barrage them exactly the way you're trying to do with us now, until they capitulate and buy that carpet cleaner. I've seen the selling techniques, which I have to say really, really annoys me. And you are talking about them.
This guy's confidence is slowly diminishing. If you see, the face is getting sweatier, and both of ours are, and the confidence is going away. The smugness is going away. Didn't have all the answers he thought he
Like a pyramid selling scheme, and I've got to tell you, for me, that is a combination that I would run a mile from.
Okay, that's right.
So I have no reason to invest. I'm out.
The atmosphere in the den is darkening. A furious Deborah Meaden wants nothing to do with the duo, and she's not the only dragon to be alienated by the pitch.
As a business proposition, does this excite me for £150,000? No. Working with Barry would just drive me crazy. I don't think I could handle it. For those reasons, guys, I'm out.
This guy is getting eviscerated, and nobody's coming to save him. That's my favorite part.
2 dragons are out.
Paul, how do you work with this guy?
Very well. I love his enthusiasm.
I get Barry. I don't get you.
Leave
You do everything Barry says.
No, not at all.
When you say men in the business all agree, one of them is unnecessary.
I only see one unnecessary man here.
How much money have you made? Have you got money to put into it?
Yes, I have. I put in £150,000.
So you put in 150,000 of your own cash?
Yes.
And Barry?
I'm about 50 and about $1.5 million work.
This man is so sassy. Can I just say, at about $1 million of hard work. Relax, dude. Yes, dude. You gotta have the right partner in a partnership, and Barry's not cutting it. You gotta say.
Have you got any more money, Paul?
What's I've got more money?
How much more money have you got?
Well, I don't think that concerns you.
It does concern me.
How much money have you got?
You're asking for an investment. Of course, it concerns him how much his investors have to put in the business that may be failing very soon. This as well.
Probably about 10 million in the bank, let's say.
I don't think that's a valid question.
Well, I'll tell you why it's a valid question. If you've got the money, why aren't you putting the money?
Let us explain why. We want your expertise, your knowledge, so that we can really go.
But why should I give you money for you to get knowledge from me?
Well, we're not a charity. We're not going to let you have.
They're not a charity. Look at this guy. My face when gurus try to pitch me a pyramid scheme on Dragon's Den.
So you want knowledge from me and my money?
Absolutely. Exactly.
Well,
that's why we're here.
I've got mud written over my forehead today.
I don't know British, but I'm assuming that that's a pretty good soul. Mud? I don't know. My UK editors.
An enraged Peter Jones has blasted the duo. The Dragons are clearly infuriated by the entrepreneurs themselves.
Right, can you that's what you said.
Barry and Paul's only hope now is to salvage their pitch by proving their water tastes as good as they say.
This is good. This is good. Reset the pitch. Yes, you're a pyramid scheme, but maybe your pyramid scheme tastes great.
Buddy, it tastes terrible. What was all this conversation, but not this sort of taste of the water?
It's like taste like water. That's because it's warm. That's
why.
Unusual taste.
Oh no. Unusual taste? That's a bad adjective for water. Unusual.
You just gave me out of that. Give a clean glass.
Oh, why? There's something in it.
Nothing in it. Use your glass and go and get a drink. I don't want it.
Mayhem erupts in the den.
You thought they were sweating before. It's just getting started.
I should have to do the cup. It's got aftertaste.
The Dragons declared Barry and Paul's water to be totally unpalatable.
It's revolting. My kids will throw that back at you.
Theo Paphitis demands an explanation.
Guys, I swear, I can really.
Taste it. Does it taste terrible or not? It doesn't taste terrible, but it certainly doesn't taste as good as it should do. It doesn't taste like water. But it's a brand spanking new machine that needs to be flushed and everything else properly.
It's a brand spanking new machine. It doesn't work. I don't know what's going on here, guys.
It needs to be set up for a longer period of time. In order 5 hours to get it working properly. So what is the temperature?
What? Hey, I'll tell you how long it takes to get your tap water. 4 to 5 hours.
21 degrees. Just listen to me. I'm getting really annoyed now. I'm complaining not about the temperature, but the fact it's got a terrible, appalling aftertaste. So don't make excuses about the temperature. I'm out.
It's all but over for Barry and Paul. They've been blasted by Theo Paphitis. Now Duncan Valentine and Peter Jones step forward to have their say.
The thing is, what gets me is this. You did all these tests of this water to show your water is the best.
Yes.
Yes.
Then I tested your water.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's rubbish.
Yes.
We all tested it, we all said the same thing.
Yes.
And then you said that's because that machine hasn't been flushed.
Yes.
In order for you to see our machine in its full operation, it would have been fair for this machine to be here overnight. Then it would have been.
Well, you've gone from
you've gone from
an hour and a half to all night now. But it doesn't really answer the question. And I'm not going to invest in it, so I'm out. Paul Berry, you've basically brought a product here that lives or dies on the back of the quality that it produces.
Can I say all the times that
he doesn't even make a point. He just goes.
Of the quality that it produces.
Can I say all the times that we tasted that water amongst you dragons,
first time.
It's unfortunate.
Right. That's all I can say to you.
I think enough has been said by everybody else. I don't think you're here necessarily to be insulted. So, good luck in your endeavours, but I'm not going to invest in business right now.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Barry and Paul have felt the full force of the.
All right, and that's it, guys. That's how you invest in it, or that's how you pitch a pyramid scheme on Dragon's Den. Woo! From you for me. Well, good man in here. Actually, hold on. I think we can. $10 million studio, guys. We got advanced technology. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this lighthearted episode of Fake Guru Friday. In this case, Fake Guru pyramid schemes. And I guess the people getting scammed are the people investing in those pyramid schemes and taking them on these reality shows to be trashed in front of the entire world. I hope you learned your lesson, guys. Don't do it again. Thank you for watching. Gosh, it feels good to be daily, huh? It used to be I took the weekend off, but now, hey, see you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode where I keep my hair. Today we have Throwback Thursdays. Hope you have something to drink, something a little stiffer. Because we're talking about a very serious topic today. Napoleon Hill. Guys, this is sort of the Moby Dick of gurus. He's the big white whale that most people don't even know is lurking under the surface. He's influenced more business gurus than you could probably imagine. In fact, Tony Robbins is one of his top 5 of all time. He's influenced Dan Locke.
Have you read the book?
Ty Lopez.
Have you read this book?
Bob Proctor.
You see, this is the first book I ever read. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I never read a book before that.
Chances are, if you have a business guy you follow, he's read Napoleon Hill and he thinks he's the absolute. Just listen to this YouTuber summarize sort of the popularized story of Napoleon Hill.
What's going on, guys? As many of you know, one of my favorite books in personal development is Think and Grow Rich. That book was catalyzed as a result of Napoleon Hill, the author, meeting Andrew Carnegie, who was the wealthiest man in the world at the time. Carnegie basically charged Napoleon Hill with interviewing a number of successful people, almost 200 people, and extracting the principles that allowed them to do their life's work.
All right, that's pretty amazing, actually. You have this guy who was broke at the time, Napoleon Hill, a journalist, apparently, who got allowed into the inner chambers of Andrew Carnegie for a long 3-hour interview, and he ends up basically committing Napoleon Hill with his most important work, passing down his knowledge. Napoleon Hill repeats the same story.
When I first heard Andrew Carnegie describe this natural law, which makes it possible for you and I and everyone else to write his own price tag in life and attain it, my search led me to the study of the spiritual forces with which all of us are blessed. And it was in this field that I came upon it and attained it while I was being coached by Andrew Carnegie during the organization of the Science of Success philosophy. I had just finished telling Mr. Carnegie that I feared he had chosen the wrong person to give the world the first practical philosophy of personal success because of my youth, my lack of education, and my lack of finances.
An incredible American story. Somebody from a high billionaire business class reaching down and lifting someone up who is an unknown writer to pass on his greatest wisdom. Except it probably never happened. Okay, so why do I say that? How could I claim that this man, whose entire life work is built off of this incredible chance meeting with Andrew Carnegie and passing down all this information? How could I claim that he did not? Well, for starters, they apparently met early in the 1900s, and he didn't start telling the story until after Andrew Carnegie died. He didn't share the story that they had met together. And the proof of Andrew Carnegie actually meeting with him, well, apparently he had all their letters together, but according to his own biographer, they got lost in the fire. Unfortunately, all the letters, yeah, they burned away. Now, at this point, I'm getting a little bit of Evan Luther vibes. You guys don't know, that's someone I interviewed before who claimed he was mentored by Steve Jobs. Was he your mentor or not? Let's just answer that question.
I think I would like to say yes.
Later, when I pressured him on this, he admitted that actually he had never talked to Steve Jobs at all, and instead he'd been mentored in the sense of he had been inspired by Steve Jobs. I have a little trouble believing that because on our call, I think yesterday, you said you were not mentored by Steve Jobs. You never said that.
I never said Steve Jobs was a mentor. But you don't have to talk to somebody all the time to consider them your mentor. I would like to believe that the internet has been my biggest mentor.
That's kind of like Napoleon Hill, it seems, because there's absolutely no evidence that he ever met with Andrew Carnegie. Even if you believe that it was lost in a fire, we can compare Napoleon Hill's writings about Andrew Carnegie with Andrew Carnegie's own writings. In fact, Andrew Carnegie's own biographer doubts that they ever met at all. He says, let me put it this way, I found no evidence that the book was authentic. So this man built an entire career on this alleged meeting of the mind with Andrew Carnegie and all these wealthy people. But there's no proof of it, and Andrew Carnegie's own biographer says, yeah, it didn't happen. Guys, we can reach deeper. We don't have to simply rely on this guy's opinion. Who's he? Just the biographer of Andrew Carnegie. So we have two books we're going to look at. One is Napoleon Hill's account of his conversation with Andrew Carnegie. And two, we're going to actually look at Andrew Carnegie's biography, and we're going to look at one of his little mini books called The Gospel of Wealth. See, Andrew Carnegie actually wrote a lot, despite what these ideas say, that Andrew Carnegie needed a reporter to transcribe all his ideas down. For a guy who was going to let someone else do the talking, he sure wrote a lot. So let's compare these two. In Napoleon Hill's account of Andrew Carnegie, Carnegie comes across like he's really doesn't really feel bad for people who are poor, because really there's no injustice. Because just like the law of attraction states, which of course I think you guys should know by now is what Napoleon Hill came up with in Think and Grow Rich. If you guys don't know, that's what The Secret was based off of. That's where all this stuff was inspired by. But he says here, understand this truth, and you will know that there's no injustice in connection with the difference between the fortunes which men accumulate. In other words, whether you're Andrew Carnegie or you're the guy working at McDonald's, you deserve what you get. They are where they are, and they are drawing the wages they receive solely because of the limitations they have set up in their own minds. In other words, look, everybody could be rich. Look, literally everybody. There's no problem with that. You just have to think about it. It's your mindset. Your mindset's bad. Have you heard of that? But according to Andrew Carnegie, who sounds much more like a businessman than a self-help guru in his own book, Gospel of Wealth, he says that competition naturally creates inequality. Under the law of competition, the employer of thousands is forced into the strictest economies, among which the rates paid to laborers figure prominently, and often there's friction between the employer and the employee, between capital and labor, between rich and poor. Sounds a little bit different, right? And wait a minute, that completely conflicts what Napoleon Hill says over here. I never set the wage scale of any man who works for me. That's supposedly Andrew Carnegie right there talking. Right there, you see that? But Andrew Carnegie, in his own book, laments the fact that he's forced to pay the strictest economies, basically the lowest possible rate for the most amount of work, which is how capitalism works. You want to pay as little as possible for the best amount of work, and then competition is formed for who you can hire based on that. Additionally, it is categorically false that Andrew Carnegie ever thought that everybody could just be rich by thinking that way. He thought instead, like a business person would think, that people who excelled at things of scale would inevitably make more money than people who didn't. In other words, if you can own the cloth factory, you can make more money than the person who sells the cloth or creates the cloth one by one. There must be great scope for the exercise of special ability in the merchant and in the manufacturer who has to conduct fairs on a great scale. That this talent for organization and management is rare among men is proved by the fact that it invariably secures enormous rewards for its possessors. In other words, either Andrew Carnegie completely changed his beliefs by the time he talked to Napoleon Hill and between when he wrote this book, or somebody's lying here. What else do we know about Napoleon Hill that could push us one way or the other? Does he have a pattern of lying, or is he telling the truth? Well, I'll let you decide from some of his incredible stories. According to him, President Wilson, even though he was broke, decided he wanted to put old Napoleon Hill on the government payroll at a rather attractive salary. Now, how did he meet President Wilson? Well, apparently, of course, Andrew Carnegie really wanted it to be. So they go ahead and they meet. But for once in my life, I had the privilege of vetoing the President of the United States. He instead, though broke, made it essential he goes the extra mile without no thought of what he might receive for his services. In other words, he didn't charge the President of the United States a penny to work for him. This is all despite the fact that Napoleon Hill's life up to this point has been solely for the purpose of accumulating riches. But when it comes to the President, he doesn't want to impose. Other features of this incredible man's life is that apparently later on, after Woodrow Wilson had moved out of the White House, he got to know another president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Apparently, although his record of a real relationship proof is surprisingly scant, according to his biographers. But in conversations and in some of his papers, Hill sometimes claimed to have coined the historic remark, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." And claimed to have written a number of Roosevelt's fireside chats. That's right, guys. While not meeting with the billionaire business magnate Andrew Carnegie, he was busy consoling America and making sure that everyone felt okay by drafting the fireside chats. According to Napoleon Hill, he supplied the president with a steady stream of suggestions for topics, and fully aware of his own powers of persuasion, Hill was never bashful about supplying a script that would help the president make his point. Oh, the original fake guru. Guys, this man is claiming to have mentored two presidents. I mean, at this point, he's mentored them. And he personally got self-selected by Andrew Carnegie to be plucked from poverty and to be suddenly made the #1 writer. What a lucky guy, I've got to say. As Wilson's suddenly deciding whether he should have an armistice for Germany, and Napoleon Hill's in the room. And the first person he read the decoded message to was, of course, Napoleon Hill. Woodrow Wilson's face turned white as snow. When he finished reading, he handed the document to Napoleon Hill. That's right. Top secret decoded information. Who do you give it to? Napoleon Hill. You leave it with that person. Apparently, the president was gone for 15 minutes. When he returned, he handed me a couple of sheets of paper on which he had written his reply to the Germans, which ended with 3 questions related to the terms of the armistice. After I read his reply, he asked if Napoleon Hill had any suggestions to add to it. Hey, Napoleon, would you like to help in World War I? Huh? Now, all of this is starting to sound increasingly improbable, and it seems like the whole thing is made up. Just wait. The story is just beginning. Because Napoleon Hill also faked being an attorney at law. I don't know if you guys can see that. He wrote that Napoleon Hill, attorney at law, Michigan Avenue. His own biographers, who at this point have found it credulous and included as fact that he has been an advisor to Woodrow Wilson and FDR, they call this a highly exaggerated claim, aka But all of this pales in comparison to the fake college this man set up. That's right. Napoleon Hill not only started the fake testimonials, the fake mentorships, just lying about who you met, lying about their advice. He also coined something else. The original course, guys. This is, I'm serious. You guys know Think and Grow Rich, but you guys don't know the Automobile College of Washington, where he supposedly trained chauffeurs and car owners to drive and prepare mechanics for assembly line jobs in automobile plants. That's how his biographers talk about it. Now, and this is well borne out in the actual newspaper. This man was the president of the Automobile College of Washington. But what his biographers coincidentally don't mention is this. This is an old school CoffeeZilla. back before CoffeeZilla existed. This is the original thing. Some guy wrote pointing the easy route to get rich quick land, which was an expose on Napoleon Hill. I'm not even lying. This man, during his life, was exposed for running a fake course. He got Zilla. Look at this, okay? I'll only read you the most important parts, okay? So they make fun of the fact that they call this the greatest school of expert automobile engineering in the United States. Does that not sound like a Caleb Maddox line? The greatest opportunity of our era? Literally nothing has changed.
And I really believe that the YTA method is the greatest opportunity of our era.
Additionally, this thing says The catalog ought to be worth its weight in gold to the dyspeptic, for there's a good laugh on every page, which is, old town speak for this guy is a clown. And they're talking about the Automobile College of Washington. Apparently, the whole scheme was a big plan to get free labor from college students. So you would pay in and they would get free labor. How it worked is you'd go into the school and while training you, you worked for them. You paid to be trained while you worked for them. And they had partnered with like an automobile manufacturer. And supposedly at the end, you were supposed to get the sales job where you could make, thousands of dollars. At the time, none of that was true. See, Napoleon Hill was also the first person to make big income claims. Our course prepares you to earn $4,800 a year or more. Briefly, the plan is all that those who attend and become a student of this college will get a job in this college. Become sales agents, guys. You can be a high-ticket closer for Napoleon Hill. See, he was the first one to do it right. And why am I showing you all of this? Why are we going through so much detail? Well, guys, you might have been mystified before when somebody who has as good of a reputation as Napoleon Hill could produce such sleazebags as people like, your Locks of the world, your Ty Lopez's of the world. How does that square away? But when you actually look at Napoleon Hill's life, and then you look at the life of people who are inspired by him, you go, oh yeah, they're the same person. This guy used the tactics that modern day fake business gurus are using before it was ever a thing, and then he wrote their Bible. Are we really surprised? But wait, guys, there's more. There's also a multi-level marketing side to this whole scheme. And by the way, remember, this is a paper from back in the day. This is all historical, okay? So I'm not making this stuff up. It's all factually either in Napoleon Hill's biography, newspaper clippings, Andrew Carnegie's biography. So don't get mad at me. This is not me saying it. It's like the fault of everyone who's read Napoleon Hill up to this point and never bothered to look any further than simply Think and Grow Rich. Now, not only does Napoleon Hill do all of that, he also made it an MLM, this college. He says the very day you enroll, you may begin to send this to the names of young men you think might be interested in our course. And you got commissions for it. Guys, I can't stand this. This man is a con man. And he says, oh, you're going to pay for your course several times over in this manner. Now, this author, of course, points out that if everyone did this, then, of course, the entire District of Columbia would soon be required for the campus. Obviously, this stuff grows exponentially. So these people, back in the day, back in the 1900s, realized this guy was a con man. But through the power of just kind of whitewashing history, little by little, people forget that these things exist. This man has managed to make a reputation for himself of being some genius in business. In reality, even by his biographer's account, who are super generous with him, who believe all of his stupid claims, he was constantly broke, constantly in debt, even went to jail. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Did I tell you that he went to jail for a stock scheme, which is why he got arrested for blue sky stuff, which is an Illinois law about unlicensed securities. He was arrested and released. And do you know what his excuse was? Hill claimed that he was simply a forceful writer. Guys, let me stop for a second and just ask you, have you heard that before? Have you ever heard a marketer, who I'm calling a fake guru, go, hey, I just like to aggressively market? So what? I say you're going to make $1 million. It's just aggressive marketing. This is where it all comes from. This is why, again, he's at the center of the board. This man is the con man of all con men, and nobody knows it. Actually, there's one great article about this, paleofuture.gizmodo.com. Incredible article. I'll link it below. A lot of the stuff you're seeing here is from that, although I went and hunted down the sources myself just to make sure they were legit. But this is why he's at the very center. Because despite maintaining an attitude and a reputation of perfection, the truth about Napoleon Hill is that he lied about who he was talking to. He lied about who he was being mentored by. He invented wild claims. He invented the first MLM. I don't know if that's the first MLM, but it's one of the first MLMs ever. He invented a course. Like every move that you see of the modern guru, it's all taken from Napoleon Hill. He's the king. He's on top. And he's on top for a reason, because, bam, he was ahead of his time. I mean, let me be very real with you. And the truth about him is just really not known. People think he's some savant, some genius who talked to the great minds of America. But the truth is, they never knew him. They never heard of this guy. which can be proven by the fact if you read Andrew Carnegie, who's written his own books, he didn't need someone to write them for him, they're so wildly different than Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill's Andrew Carnegie and the real Andrew Carnegie are two completely different people. One is some self-help person with a bunch of puff and fluff. The other is like a practical businessman who talks like a businessman, who understands competition, who understands market forces, who understands that not everything is just about your mindset, right? So what do we make of the Napoleon Hill story now that it's all out there? Well, it's interesting. Just like I think Napoleon Hill was sort of the original guru, I think we can learn a lot of lessons from both his successes and his failures. Because obviously his fraud was very successful because millions of people have bought his books and millions of people have bought into this idea that he was, some oracle of the rich and famous. But the truth is, when he died. Most people suspect penniless. He had been bankrupt many times. He had been run out of towns. He said there was an attempted assassination on his life. Fraud, accusations of fraud. It all just follows the familiar path of our confidence. And they achieve a little bit of success because scams do. But ultimately, they're constantly